Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm very excited to have Ben Bblum back on the show. Uh, Say hi, Ben, I guess.
Hey, I'm back. We got more op to talk about.
We've got more op to talk about. This might. I'm hoping this is a 5 year long segment, but
Okay.
assuming that's the rotation speed of NSG.
I'm gonna need
So
to drop a contract and get a union
yeah,
going.
yeah,
Talking
yeah.
about
Here,
that time scale.
yeah, you can have my $2 I make on the video or something. We'll get you a fraction of that. Um, but yeah, it's been what, like 3 or 4 weeks. I feel like 3 weeks.
Three, I think.
Yeah, and since then we've had Man of the Moon's New Year's Eve tournament and the Circuit Breaker Invitational, which to me have kind of clarified some things about the meta, but not, nothing. I think it's at the same time kind of interesting that, like, while I think the runner side is doing some, oh my good, some like solidification towards some really good decks. I'm not convinced that the Corp side is figured out yet, which I think is interesting. And I see a hole in the meta, and I want to fit Rush Ob in that hole, whether or not it fits. So I
Okay.
figured we should discuss some other ideas for Ob. Uh,
What are the besides Rush Ob? What corp decks are you most excited about right now?
I mean, excuse me. I think PD is like really quite good. Like you can get run over by the like Lou or Mulch decks in if they draw really well, but then you can kind of just run out ahead of things. Um, the as
Okay,
Chris
but
is,
that's nothing new.
yeah, that's nothing new. I want to take at some point I need to take a serious look at these asset op lists.
Me too.
I look at them and I go, this looks like a pile of cards that gets figured out. The runner eventually figures out which cards they need to deal with and which ones they don't. Um, but, you know, it might be that, I would not be shocked if it's actually just really solid foundations and just puts out a few more problems the runner can consistently handle. So,
Yeah, I
uh,
think there are two good insights in Tuna's winning CPI list. One
yeah, I should go
being
pull that up.
to move away from the almost said hard hitting news. You know what I mean if I say to move away from the hard hitting news plan,
Yes, the
because
Oppo
as it's
research.
described
Yeah.
in the deck list, like it feels tribal, um, which I hadn't seen that word used to describe that problem before, but I appreciate it. Um, where like if you draw half of one game plan and half of the other game plan, you're screwed. And the other one is putting a full playset of Wake Up Call. I actually started with Wake Up Call in Rush Ob like a year and a half ago because I wanted to blow up the boat. And then I realized that was kind of tribal with the rush plan, and I just wanted to go faster than the boat. But that was then, and that's a completely different deck. And yeah, it's interesting. Like it keeps the runner off of having Knob Curie, for example, which uh, seems pretty critical
Yeah.
for the deck being able to not fall over.
Yeah, no, I Knobkery definitely seems like the card you need to figure out a solution for. And yeah, Wake Up Call is a great answer for that. I think there's probably ways around it as mulch, um but no, I mean this is like a core start. And then like part of my theory is like, oh yeah, the mulch decks can trash a card a turn, but with 25 assets, you can probably put down two a turn, and hopefully find a way to make that kind of work and sting. Um,
Yeah.
but um, but yeah, it's got some very interesting ideas, some cards that maybe I don't quite understand, but definitely something I want to try out at some point. Um,
Mm-hmm. Same. Although this is not the stream for that.
yes, this is not the stream for that. Maybe I'll be able to get Tuna to come on, or Tuna will put some stuff out themselves if people haven't seen it. Tuna was just involved in a, I would say, slightly sillier video, tier list ranking all of the neutral cards in NSG for their jankability support, which I thought, was a fun angle on the card pool.
Which stream was that on?
They put that on, I think it's a new YouTube channel for QTM. I will have to see. I don't remember. Actually, I can probably find it quickly. Um, but let's see. I thought I could find. Okay, it is on. Let's go pull this up. Um, it is on. Oh, the Queering the Message YouTube um, channel. I don't. Only 28 subscribers, so people should go and subscribe. Um, but yeah, it's a 2 hour, almost 3 hour long rating
Oh my
of
god.
how the jank potential of all of these neutral cards. Also, while I'm doing content shoutouts, people should go listen to the most recent um, Neon Static podcast. I thought it was very interesting, and I liked it a lot, Eric, who I see in the chat. So that's why I'm calling it out. Um,
I will have to check both of those out.
yeah. But we're here today. Oh,
Yes.
sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to mention perhaps that the other kind of breakout corp deck from the CBI was Asmari.
Mm,
Um, and speaking to a couple of members of the testing team, it seems like it's kind of teched to beat Lou, Lou/Mulch. Uh, and hearing that, I was kind of like, I feel like Rush Ob is good into Mulch.
yeah.
So it's kind of an open question, and we can't really answer it without like an Asmari expert on the stream. But it's kind of an open question, like which deck has the better matchup.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, shout out to Wikinometry, player from Pittsburgh.
Yep. Yep. Did quite well at the CBI. I do think it's interesting. I feel like the inclusion of Tranquilizer makes me a little bit more skeptical of a lot of these Asmari lists as being a clean solution, because
Mm-hmm.
you don't actually have infinite money. You can name program every turn, and that's like a pretty solid econ floor. But it seemed like it was not quite enough in a couple of in quite a few games. But
Yeah,
I
de-rising a Hydra seems backbreaking.
yeah, and we saw that it's like actually not that difficult uh, to land in a lot of cases. But it did do quite well. Like not that many Asmaris showed up, and they tended to place pretty well. Obviously, both Sokka and Wikinometry placing the top bit. Right, it's like there's 14 Asmaris in this 100-person event, and 2 in the top cut, which is 25% from 13%. So like it was twice as good as its percentage share, which is a pretty good increase. Op no, Op overperforms well. I'm actually, oh right, this was like the PD just disappeared event, which I like kind of don't understand. Um, but nope, did I lose you for a second?
Me, I just haven't been talking.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, and I think Augustus.
Tranquilizer was, damn it.
Go ahead.
Tranquilizer was the other kind of surprise for me. Um, I am still a free agent as far as testing teams goes, so I didn't realize that that was kind of the switch in terms of the major influence spend from Conduit. And it makes a whole lot of sense because, like, I think about sitting down across Lou, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna tempo them out of Conduit being a good game plan. So sitting down across this seems a little scarier.
Yeah, I agreed. I think it was a very nice little tune up to the list. I it John went and won the smaller Man of the Moon invite the week before, and I think it's interesting to see where people make the cuts and stuff. And I think there's some interesting things that I've been trying to like. Do we even need a num? Do we need a clot? Can we just get away without those? to make slots work. But yeah, I think like there's been a lot of interesting stuff. Excuse me, like tweaks and modifications on that runner side, which then obviously means that you need to respond in some amount on the corpse side, um, which that's one of the things we're going to be talking about today. So um, this was the sort of shell we came up with as the kind of core piece, or the kind of like core op build that you start deviating out of if you're playing a version of Rush Op. And so I figured this maybe is a good place to actually get started for today. Because last time we um, did we do? Oh no, we did your kind of more rig shootery heavy op, um, which I think we probably both agree in a world where the top runner is packing three simul chips, two labor rights, and the DJ Fenris is maybe not the most like robust way to go and handle that threat. Um,
Yeah. I do think that 3 seamless launch is to its credit
mm-hmm.
in that kind of matchup because, yeah, like in my experience in that matchup, you kind of have to win exactly when they play the labor rights or like a couple turns after that.
Mm-hmm.
Because once they start playing labor rights for simul labor, like then you're kind of hosed.
Yeah.
But like it kind of harkens back to the old like you have to wait for Kate to play the levy and shuffle stuff back, and at that moment the runner is vulnerable.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of the same pacing. You do have to win fast enough. You don't have a long game. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think that Skunkworks could have legs as a different direction. I think that you should take the lead as far as deck building goes because we want to validate your idea of not playing the Forma carry.
Okay. I was gonna let us play the former carry if we wanted to today. I think it's
Okay,
a pretty
sure.
reasonable way to go.
Okay.
It's not one that I personally like, but I think I still have a long way to go to prove that that makes much sense. So we can start with it, and I can, if it comes up that it's not good, I can be like, okay, this is a situation where I'd rather this was an X ice. But I think it's useful for me if I'm coming in with a negative position to also then see what what does the game look like when I can't use a former carry? Does this open stuff up, especially against the Lu decks and the Hoshiko decks, which tend to have a much tighter econ situation? I start being like, okay, maybe the former carry does make some more sense in this situation. Whereas, like, oh, if I'm playing against criminal, like they can make a run with 15 credits and probably pay twice. I don't know that they care as much.
When was the last time that you seriously played the Zero Forma carry deck? Was it around Worlds?
The last time I seriously played it, I think was EU Continentals. Or no, sorry, not EU Continentals. Like NA Continentals. I haven't
At
really
like
had a chance to
August?
play seriously since then. Yeah, so this is back in August.
What was like what was the matchup to beat at that moment?
I mean that was like Reg Hosh was the deck to beat, I think, because that was like 2 weeks into new meta, and so Reg Hosh had done very well at APAC. Um, and then it was going to be like, okay, we've now had a second week to figure out what these cards do, so it's going to be a bit of a wild west. But Reg Hosh was looking good. I'm trying to remember what else we were testing at the time. I think like Sable was being looked at a little bit as a strongish deck, um, but like Reg Hosh was just like the felt like the runner to beat. It ended up being that the at the event it was a mix of like there was a lot of shaper, including Arasana and Lat um, and Hermes Tau a little bit, and then also then yeah Reg Hosh and kind of Reg Krim were sort of the things that I ended up seeing on the day.
Hmm. In my mind, Lat is the worst matchup for the deck because you can't beat Turbine.
Yeah.
Um, and I think part of the Skunkworks question to me is how does it affect that matchup?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, when I went to Worlds, I got paired into a Lat, and there were like 3 Lats in the whole field, and I was pretty pissed about that. Um, and then in the CBI, I also got paired into a Lat, and then I was like, again. But then after that, like I looked at the faction and there were like 7 lats in that event. So it does seem like his presence is increasing. So I
Hmm.
think we have to answer that like that's a matchup to consider,
Yeah, no,
you know.
that was I will say like my luckiest break in that entire cut was somehow my match against Cody ended up getting called on time in that round where I was like I had slim outs if any left, um, and but I was ahead on points on the board, and it was like my out was like putting a card in the remote to bluff a virus, because that
Yeah,
was like the
yeah.
only way I was scoring out. Because yeah,
Yeah, you end
Turbine
up
just turned off
having to do
everything
stuff
my
like
deck
that.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, take it away.
All right,
Um,
so I think I have never played with two Manic Arms, but or I haven't played with two Manic Arms in a very long time. Um, but you know, if our operating theory is a we want to make sure we get value out of Formicary and well, actually no, the operating theory is uh, you know the run some of the runners to beat are either breaking ice hyper efficiently, and because they're breaking it efficiently they tend to also be running a little bit low on like liquid credits or require lots of like kick flips to get stuff going. So
mhm.
two Manigarm makes some sense in that context. um, we will put a half run in for now, though I think there's a pretty good argument that you're never actually landing the half run against uh, like against these mulch decks, and so it should just be cut for probably a second seamless. I think. Um,
Um, I have a question in mind, but first, I think we should say that we're going to want an opponent who's not just a JNet rando, who feels like they can kind of confidently explore matchup with us. So sound off in the chat if you want to be our opponent for tonight. We're going to take a little while more deck building, but may as well open the line to that now. Um, the question I have in mind is, in principle, playing Skunkworks to kind of pressure the runner's credit pool could synergize with Trojan Horse, which is a new addition to the deck, and we haven't really tested the
mhm.
synergy before. Um, but like if we're Trojan horsing a cleaver or whatever, also not pressuring their simul chips with a half rune, like is it good enough to play without the half rune, or like do we
Hmm.
want it and the half rune together?
Yeah, because I'm also looking at this and going,
Yeah.
oh, but we could also play instead of this half run, we could play the third Mavirus, so that we can actually get the set. We can always get a Manic Arm on the like final turn, which seems pretty valuable to me. Um,
I was usually able to get the second Skunkworks on the final turn, because Stavka can also get it.
hmm. Okay.
This is speaking about my worlds list where I played Tomb of Iris.
Hmm. I guess the other thing
And
to
in
me
that,
is, you know,
mhm.
we're playing into a matchup that is using viruses to break everything, and so you're trading a Mavirus. You're like you can often trade up with your Mavirus as well. Maybe not
Yeah,
super consistently,
yeah.
but like not impossibly. Um,
No, for sure. Like the third Mavirus is good into mulch. I think, yeah, I mean, obviously for cutting the half rune, we're not turning it into a sprint because the sprint is for half rune. But the options I think for the other influence pip are Magnet and Thimble Rig.
yeah. Um, you have been a big advocate for Thimble Rig. I'm happy to give it a shot. I'm a
Yeah, but you
I
have been a big advocate for Magnet, and
That's true.
I think we've given Thimble Rig a bunch of stream time.
Okay, we will put a magnet in and we'll see if I make any use of it. That will cut. I think that's going to come with the Afshar's expense. Um,
Not the Enigma.
why do I say not the Enigma over the Afshar? Well, it's still to me the Amakua thing. Um, but
Sure. Um, the reason I like Afshar is that it's invulnerable to Hippo, but I might be over-indexing on the Pittsburgh meta, where our local blue players play a Hippo.
mm,
Um,
okay.
so yeah.
Yeah, I have not seen much of that. That might be like I could see that being correct, but it's not been a thing that it's. I think we did Enigma last time, so we can do Afshar this time and see how it feels. Um,
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
think we're picking this here.
yeah. Second envelopment, I think is
Hmm.
obvious to me. Do you want the full three former carries when you usually do this kind of build?
I brought three to Worlds. I think we need to be asking what the third former carry would be instead. We don't
Mm-hmm.
currently have a Winchester in the list. Put a third Sandstone, by the way.
Yeah. I feel like you don't like. Yeah, it's like that might be an interesting question if it should be the Winchester, but I'm not. That might be a question we come back to at the end. Um, so Chris, I usually do this. This is like to me the canonical suite if I'm not trying to rake shoot is uh, two hostels, three oak towns, three atlases, and above the law, and then either two Azefs or you can do other stuff with a slot. Like if you're on two seamlesses, I've actually been trying doing off-world office in the Azef slot. But Azef also can be gas depending on how you build and set up your board states. So you can also go say, oh, I actually want three Azefs and two Atlases, and that might actually be a slightly stronger board in certain circumstances. But I
I
like the
think that
hostel
three
just for
Ozyef
the
is
the rush.
I think that 3 Ozyef is better in all builds. I don't think it is contingent on the rig shoot game plan.
And then slash and burn, I don't love in the rush lists because you can't actually score it if it's the only agenda in your hand, which is like your whole game plan is I need to score this agenda now. In the fast advanced ones with calibration testing, I think slash and burn like is 100% stronger than Atlas, and definitely well, actually it's stronger than the Oak Town in that list, but
Yeah, yeah.
you know, um, it's that like exactly how you split. Like you need to go to three atlases, and then you're like, okay, I have the two. I have the two. I need the 4 points filled, and slash and burn's correct there. Um,
So we are at 50 now.
yes, we
Um,
are.
we have 17 ice. I think I can't remember if I brought 17 or 16 ice to Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, Formic carry's kind of a fake ice, so I'm nervous with 16. What did I say?
Mm-hmm.
16? We have 17 right now. I'm still nervous. Yeah, no, you're not going to get 18 ice out of this build, but we have 17 and we would have to cut down to 16.
Yeah,
And that makes me nervous. Um so in this build, I might say two Formicary. Um
because it's the least real ice for us.
yeah, I mean
Yeah.
the alternative is to play 9 agendas. Um
Mm-hmm.
we get 2 deck slots with that. We could play any two of third Formicary, Winchester, and Trojan Horse.
So it'd be
The other,
something
yeah,
like
the other thing to note about what I said earlier about like the Halfrun Trojan Horse package together is that Halfrun is another fake ice, and so
yeah,
that pressures the slots further.
yeah, yeah. I think there's the like, is this Trojan horse better than like a Winchester to me? Is maybe my question. Um, because like turning off the mulch
Probably
decks.
not. Sorry, continue.
Sorry, wait. Probably the Winchester is probably not better, or is probably better than the Trojan horse. I
The
forgot how I
Winchester's
phrased it.
probably better.
Yeah, that's kind of my sense here. Is like Winchester actually just turn like it's extremely difficult for mulch to run through a Winchester frequently. They're just not really set up for
Hmm.
it, and that ends up like if you can keep your HQ kind of safe, like that like just completely flips how you play the matchup. Um, but
For
yeah, I
playing a Winchester, we probably changed the Afshar into Enigma.
okay. Yeah, yeah. I think that's also fairly reasonable. Um, okay. I mean, to me, this is like, kind of uh, the base core of what you'd want to do. Um, all right. Uh, if someone uh, in the chat wants to sleeve up a mulch list, I'd love to get the game going. Please just shout out so I know who to expect. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to pick
One other
someone.
possibility is the second Tucana could plausibly be cut.
Hmm. For
Both,
a what you might
just
call
for
it.
anything.
Yeah, yeah. So the card you'd want to put in is oh my goodness, we were just looking at it. Oh,
We
Augustus,
have the
that would
third
be
form
fantastic.
carry.
Oh yeah, third form carry, the Trojan horse, those sort of things.
So go back to NRTV and just duplicate the list real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
Make the following change. 1 Tucana. Oh, I was gonna put a half rune, but we're cutting the third Mavirus to put the half rune here.
Yeah, it's cutting them. Yeah.
Which, yeah, like we already cut that slot with the Tucana, so maybe I don't like that. We could cut
Mhm.
it the second hedge fund.
uh,
I
that
mean, we
that's
do have
really
3
leaning on
Mavirus
to get the
to
regolith.
get
Yeah.
Regolith, right? Yeah, like, okay, like, yeah, all right. Cut a hedge fund. Keep the second Tucana. Cut them a virus in the magnet. Put the half rune. And I think you have a slot to put the Afshar back.
Yeah, we actually have a whole extra slot still from that.
Where did that slot come from? Oh, it came from hedge fund.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Because
Oh,
we.
and Trojan horse. We need to put, yeah, okay. Trojan horse needs to go in the deck.
Okay.
So yeah. This is, yeah, I don't know if we should play this. It's just another possibility.
Yeah. No, I think this is a good shot. I think I'm a little bit wary of playing a 1x hedge fund.
Yeah. No, I
But
mean, you're not wrong. I just think like it's playable.
yeah.
And I just wanted to pose the question like, if you go the half rune Trojan horse route, like, and you have 50 cards, what is the cut?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
All right. Oh, sorry.
is it a beautiful hand?
Yeah, yeah. This is one we'll spend a ton of time discussing whether to mull or keep.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Gonna increase the
Yeah.
page size
Thank
for
you.
me. For everyone.
Oh. And of course, it wouldn't be one of our streams without audio issues. I have to go. My headphones are dying on me, so give me 1 second.
Okay. I'll see if I can fill the air.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this hand is pretty amazing. My part of my suspicion about playing the magnet is like it's best when you res it in the middle of a run. And even if you get it with border control, like you're kind of already ending the run there. So it's a little bit it never feels like it quite gets the same maximum value that like PD gets when it reses a magnet. We do have the magnet in our starting hand, which is good. It means we won't be getting it with the BC, but it's the only hard in the run that we have. So it doesn't exactly eat a Botulus in this hand. We have Formicary Skunkworks available to us. We have Extract for flexibility. Against Hoshiko, I think I'm inclined to open with Tithe on R&D and the Formicary on HQ. Didn't we cut the magnet? It was between magnet and Thimblerig, and we decided Thimblerig already had its time in the spotlight last stream, so we're playing the magnet here. I mean, we have 3 sandstones to get half rune. I think that being a 3 cost is like not. Yeah, and it would be Enigma Avshar instead. So that's not what it's for. I think it's just for like we're playing it here to see if eating Botulus in the most Bachelus matchup that there is like really that good. Or if we can kind of lean on extract. What this hand wants to do is it wants to extract the Tithe into Rashida. And protect that with like Mavirus Formicary. Yeah, we didn't cut it for the influence. It's that Magnet Mavirus, that influence used to be half rune. I cannot hear Jeff.
Okay,
yet.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay,
I succeeded at filling the airtime.
Thank you. Okay, and it does look like my audio is not playing back on the speakers, so we're just going to try it without headphones and see.
Okay. I guess.
Oh no, that
chat
definitely
should
is.
let us know if there's echo or anything.
There's
like
definitely echo. Hold on.
Okay. Now I'm unsure whether to continue filling the airtime.
All right, Ben. Should be able to actually hear you now. can you hear me? Is the next question. Oh no, you can't. All right. Yep. All right. Well, we're back. We're back, I think.
Am I back? Chat, let me know if you can hear me.
Yeah, it looks. I'm seeing your audio signature, so that should be a good sign. Uh, okay. I think we'll just pretend that didn't happen. And okay, so we need to
Okay.
do this first turn here. This is like one that for me, like, well, we have no gas here, so it's like it's a little bit. We can do whatever we want. I think to me, I'm like, okay, this magnet is actually probably a pretty good remote ice here.
hmm while you were up, I was talking about how it's okay. We wish it was our second remote ice.
Yeah.
Um, because having it be the only end of the run means it's not going to eat a botulus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess to me, I'm thinking like, okay, I'm gonna tithe. I'm gonna draw tithe HQ hedge fund if I don't draw anything else good this turn, and then I can kind of build towards things from there. Um,
Draw is fine. I was considering putting the Formicary on HQ.
mm,
Um,
oh,
just
that's a
because, like, I mean,
yeah.
we're gonna put it down at some point. Uh, Actually, here, what we should do is we should put. Well, for one thing, that was an incredible draw.
Yeah.
Uh,
This is an ideal draw here.
for two, I think if we put two ice, it keeps Hoshiko off of the Hoshiko trigger.
Okay, so just like
We can hedge fund next turn. Well,
okay,
I
just
mean,
like well, we can't
maybe not.
really. Yeah.
Well, the Tithe would pay us back.
So like Tithe HQ, form a carry R&D, just try and scare them off.
I would do the other way around.
Okay.
Probably Tithe HQ against Lu, but against Toshiko.
They don't go as hard on the
Yeah.
turn 1 HQ access. We say as we get punished. I don't really want to rest the
Okay.
former carry here.
No, yeah.
Oh well, that's just a little bit of a tell. Forgot to do that before things started, but you know, so it goes. One of the downsides of playing former carry on JNet, you have to remember to do that at the start of the game once you find your first one. Um, okay. Um, to me, I just want to go hedge fund development of virus on the remote here, see what we can get out of the Lu. So,
I'd probably get Regolith if we get to start the next turn with this board.
oh yeah, I think So this is like that's one of the things that I do very rarely, but I think makes a lot of sense in this setup.
I was thinking back on my CBI performance, which was actually quite poor,
Mm-hmm.
and there were actually not that many games where I got Regolith before I scored my first agenda. And like doing that and getting Malapert, like it makes such a big difference.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
All right, Hippo and Strike Fund being removed is interesting. Um, we actually feel pretty fine resing envelopment here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It probably just ends the run. I don't think it makes sense for Hoshika for the mulch deck to pay through this. Um, oh, okay, sure. That's an unusual include, or at least it's not.
It's not
It's not like absurd.
not
It's
that
just a little
weird.
bit unusual.
It's a shame that we lose the Mavirus here,
Yeah,
because we spend our ob trigger on the envelopment.
yeah. Part of me wants to get the Whoredom on the envelopment fire. Um,
That's pretty smart, actually.
Oh,
I don't hate that.
okay. We're gonna. I forgot that Hush is not automated at all. Um, oh, where did it just eat my disable card command?
You can just click the envelopment and fire the subroutine you want.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'd like the Whoredom a little bit more than the border control, just because uh, it actually requires the runner to find a second threat here. Um,
Yeah, we do have Mavirus to put in front of a border control, but um,
well, we don't have a two cost
I mean
code gate
magnet,
anymore.
magnet.
That's true. That's true. We would. Um,
Once again, we draw the best possible card.
yeah. I'm trying to think. I mean, this just feels like. I mean, part of me is just saying Rashida. Do I just extract the tithe? I feel like no. It's probably just like Rashida Mag to take a credit. I think. Um,
Yeah, the magnet in front protects against Botulus, which is what it's for.
Yeah,
So
that's why it's in the
I
deck.
agree.
Yeah, I mean, like
Great
ideally,
turn.
you're like sniping a botulus from somewhere else on the board on a border control fire, but you take what you can get sometimes.
Well, like that's what it does on this board in front of a Hortum, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Like he's a long way away from both Buzzsaw and uh, Data Sucker,
Yeah,
Leech. Um, like I think we're quite likely to see a Botulus on this Hortum.
yeah. Okay, Oaktown's actually a pretty good draw here.
Our
Uh,
draw continues to be amazing.
yeah. So this is Oaktown
You can put
advance, and then
them
put
a
the
virus now
virus
because
in.
it's just
Yeah,
it's a Skunkworks
it's a Skunkworks, and it's a
or a
Tucana.
Tucana.
Yeah,
Mhm.
both of which are pretty good. Um, I never worry that much about denying Lego Peronia Shelter triggers.
No,
You're
no.
just going to give them like actually the most of any corp, and that's fine. Um,
Notably, in the not Skunkworks deck, I am inclined to not install the virus to protect it. Called it. This is gonna be so good.
yeah, this is really good.
Uh, I was saying if we didn't have Skunkworks, I would be inclined to sit on the Mavirus
Mm-hmm.
and install Advance and put it next turn to turn into a Tucana. Because the second Mavirus is that valuable in this matchup,
Yeah, but
more so possibly than 2 points. Um,
oh man, I always want to greed, but you can't greed in this matchup, really. Um,
we do have two gear checks.
yeah, but it's actually we're like one oh I guess no, we're not one simul chip away. We're a simul chip and a like something else away. Um,
And we have Skunkworks Formicary.
oh, that is true too.
I think we agreed this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like advancing it twice for 2 credits is good, and then just putting the Malapert in seems like a great place to be.
Mm-hmm. This is where you start wondering, like, if he's got to light the fire in the deck or something. But
Yeah, yeah,
there's still two gear checks away. Like if it's later in the game. Um, yeah, the Skunkworks deck is more susceptible to light the fire,
mm-hmm.
which I think people are not super on anymore.
Yeah. They probably should. It's like one of those things where I'm like, I feel like they should be, um, but um, Yeah, because they're not for now. It's quite good. Chris asking, do you consider installing the Winchester before the former carry triggers? Yeah, and I think there's an argument that like the correct term was actually advance the Oaktown once, put the Winchester on HQ, and then put the Malapert data vault in. Um, like drawing.
Yeah, yeah, that was probably better.
Yeah,
Um, like we don't have the money for both that and form a carry skunk works, but the runner can't force both one things at the same time.
yeah, and like in the situation where they just installed Audrey and ran HQ, having the Winchester would have been like near game
Yeah,
winning on the spot.
yeah.
Okay, so now we don't even need to pop Armor Virus here because we just naturally drew into the Tucana, so we can just go
Oh my God.
full clown car. Um,
I feel like the draw is so good. I was gonna say this about the magnet earlier. Like, draw here is so good that we're not really learning anything.
yeah, our draw here is so good that it is a little bit uh, absurd. Okay, Malapert Data Vault. Let's search. I I feel like there's a lot of good things to go for here. We already have an extract. We already have a Rashida that's actually going to go on the remote this turn. A border control's okay. Um, Grabbing a seamless launch is maybe okay because we have an SDS in hand, though it's a little bit tricky. Like we would need to single advance it to make it look like a an Atlas or something. Um,
I think seamless is probably the best get.
yeah,
Um, we have all of the other tools that we need. Um, yeah, second extract is the only other thing I would really consider an argument
yeah,
for, but having the SDS in hand makes the seamless that much better.
yeah. I'm feeling like on this, like I would love to pay two to put the Winchester on HQ here if I could, but obviously we can't because it's in our hand. Um, So now it's the question of Enigma or Envelopment, I think. Or I guess Sandstone's actually also a reasonable one. Um, I don't know.
Sandstone or BC?
Yeah, I don't love BC because it ends up just being one credit to go through. Um,
I guess it does just turn into a sandstone.
yeah.
Yeah, sandstone is pretty good.
Yeah, I think Sandstone on HQ for one credit and then install the Rashida in server one is pretty good for us here. We can actually like it might be worth getting a manic arm if to protect this Rashida in the certain circumstances. Um, but
Yeah,
we're
but we don't have to decide until the runner does something.
yeah we're just quite ahead here, which is pretty nice. Yeah, until they get a cookbook down, like they're not putting too much threat in. Um, What about Stavka there? So Stavka, you never. I'm assuming you mean off the Malapert. You don't really want to get it off the Jacana trigger because we don't. I mean, Augustus may know this, but we don't. Uh, so I don't love putting the Stavka like just naked on the board. We're not going to use its res trigger. Yeah, it comes in res is maybe yeah, exactly kind of the big point of it. Is it's a
The
card you
reason you
want to
would get
res,
it,
but
the reason you would get it is if you don't have a click to spare and you want to feed it the Malapert and get a Rashida. But
mhm.
we had a Rashida.
Yeah, no, that's pretty
I
fair.
refer to yeah, I refer to this as the Tucana skateboard trick.
Yeah, we got very lucky there. We sniped a boomerang out of hand. Boomerang would get them through the
Holy
remote
crap!
here.
Yeah, that's that's kind of incredible.
Yeah, I maybe this is maybe a
Well,
turn where I should have shuffled R&D before access before the thing started. Just because I'm probably not finding them a virus on my turn, and we know the top of R&D isn't an agenda, and that's actually the most important card we could draw right now is an agenda. Um, but
well, but I think we're jamming this SDS, right?
that's fair. Is it? Yeah, I guess it's just hedge install advance. I think. Um,
It could be
it could also be. I don't think I have anything I
the
like
stone
that much
install
more than.
advance. We don't have if we do Sandstone Install Advance, we don't have the money
Yeah.
for, like, every possibility, but maybe we don't.
I think to me a single mana guard like if Augustus is on Light the Fire, I can go Boomerang, install Light the Fire, click Light the Fire, like they got it right, and that's like the Sandstone prevents that line. Um, but I feel like the line I want to spend time thinking about is the like, okay, we know they're on boomerangs. They may have a second boomerang in hand. If they were willing to just eat the
Mhm.
net damage on Tithe, that makes me think that they have like maybe they were just saying, oh, I'm behind. I need to take the risk. Um,
I think he's looking for an Audrey counter.
yeah, that's probably true too.
The
Um,
line I'm worried about is, uh, like, well, yeah, okay, yeah. I was gonna say the line I was worried about is like run R&D, trash something to get a counter, and then run the remote. But in that case, he doesn't have enough to pay the 5 for Skunkworks.
yeah,
So if it's like crack for Menor, run the remote, and then you have the 5 to pay for Skunkworks, but then you don't have a second gear check. So I think
yeah,
that the remote is actually safe without a third ice.
yeah. That's kind of my thinking at the moment. So I'm just gonna go with this line. Um, And like there are ways this gets punished. I actually think do I discard the Winchester or the Sandstone here? I think it's a pretty uh small difference. I think I'm gonna
Mm,
dis I think I want to actually no, I think I want to discard the Sandstone so I can potentially spin doctor it back. Is probably my thinking
yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
Um So Eric's saying Mavirus clears the Audrey counter. It does. So like Mavirus gets us through a lot of stuff. The threat that I'm worried about is, and I actually missed this in the thing, is installing a cookbook, which does probably get Augustus through here. Well, no, installing a cookbook and then a cookbook and also doing other stuff gets Augustus through here. Um,
Hold on.
yeah. So
Um,
yeah, we can purge and put the Manic Arm on R&D here.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I was gonna suggest that. Um, I didn't quite follow the line about cookbook getting into the remote.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I do think that purging here is pretty good.
Yeah.
We have access to 2 spin doctors because we can extract the tithe.
Yep.
Um, so I'm not really worried about using the Mavirus for short-term tempo.
Mm-hmm.
And also we're about to fire SDS. So like
Yeah. Oh wow, we're just gonna win the game in 2 turns. Okay, sure. I mean, look, this is like very high roll for this version of the deck. Um, okay, so Tucana. Well, we can Malapert first here. It doesn't particularly matter, I guess. I probably want like. Do I want the
just get an
third?
extract.
Yeah, an extra extract, and then we'll just discard the Winchester probably. And then Tucana can go and put. I feel like an Enigma on R&D is not bad. Um,
I actually want to get a border control here so we can
get
get
them a virus.
we can have that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It doesn't like any whichever program gets trash is coming back in. I think I'd rather trash the imp than have the Audrey get a free counter, basically.
Makes
Though
sense. Yeah.
I guess the other argument is actually I could just trash the cleaver here.
Cleaver, well, they're all 0 with the simul chip.
They're all 0 with the
Um,
simul chip, yeah, but at least it doesn't get reset with a virus counter, where the other two ones do
exactly.
get
Yeah,
reset with a virus
exactly.
counter. So, um,
I like your thinking.
yeah, yeah. I mean, this was a incredibly high roll game.
Yeah, we're really not learning much. Um, I guess if there's some analysis to make, it's that in the 2 Skunkworks build, you feel good making this kind of R&D Skunkworks play just like for instantaneous tempo because you know you have another one in the deck.
Yeah, yeah. Whereas like with the single skunkworks, you're like, okay, I have to actually pivot. I have to guarantee a win. So like if instead of this odds F, we drew a piece of ice, which is pretty likely,
Hmm.
then suddenly it's like, okay, we have to think a little bit more. Now we'd still have the extract tithe for Rashida or Spin Doctor line, which would still be very good here. Um, so London saying BC HQ R&D is safe with Managarm Forma carry and the win is in HQ. Um, I get what you're saying. I stand by the BC on R&D because that's where the game like if we well okay do they have clot? That is a great question. We are in fact seeing a clot in the bin, so we have to go server one, advance. Okay, runner is acting. They're going to put down a clot.
Yeah.
Um,
London, I don't agree because like a line that the runner has is like run R&D, click through the skunkworks.
yeah,
Knob puts a counter on imp, and that kind of forces the format carry pop, and then they can jack out. Uh, so R&D kind of like isn't that safe. They still have to figure out a way to break the format carry, but I think the sandstone is good for another couple turns. Um, so
yeah. The sandstone is like a very resilient piece of ice, especially like in this matchup. Like it ends up eating a botchless, and like this is a matchup where the runner has like a million different taxes on their clots. Um, oh man, I wish we. Yeah, there's like no, you never have the clicks to do this, but it's like oh man, we could like there's a world where you could like extract them a virus and do the biggest kickflip if you could get another counter on this, but so
you
they're
can't.
down. They're
The
down
deck
one
doesn't do
clot.
that.
Yeah.
Um, we don't need to get Mavirus.
Yeah.
We have 2 extracts, so I think we could just get a Spin
Oh,
Doctor.
so the argument actually for extracting the BC from a virus is that we can get the second manic arm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, we should do that. We should
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that.
That's such a weird and correct line. That's great.
I forgot like that the deck does this, but it
Yeah,
totally does this.
it totally does. Yeah. Yeah, it's wild that like Mavirus is stronger than border control here. Uh, but it is significantly so. Um, okay, so okay, Buzzsaw is coming in, um, but that doesn't actually get them in because Horadam quietly, maybe this is the Lotus Field meta if you're playing Jinteki once again because Buzzsaw is what like every runner seems to be on. Um, that's probably a bit too far, but Horadam is sitting really nicely in this deck and is like one of the reasons I want to kind of why I think that like Rush Op is actually a pretty reasonable matchup is you can have a lot of these cards that kind of sit in a slightly better place than they kind of like would do in a more kind of reg meta.
Yeah, I'm ever since I started playing the Hordem, I have been kicking myself for not bringing it to Worlds.
Yeah. Yeah, Teach Link. The Lotus Field meta is mostly a joke. Though to be honest, like Horadam is so close to Lotus Field in the actual text. Um, yeah, this doesn't get in, but
No,
it doesn't even get
it
in
only
through a
gets in if we're the
single.
one. If we're the one Skunkworks build, then it gets in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That
Oh,
was the
that's the
act
other
with
thing you
the
have to
he was
play
going
around,
through.
right? Is that it's in hand.
Yeah,
Um,
but we just don't make that play if it's in hand.
yeah, yeah. You never extract the BC unless it's like the biggest bluff in the world, I guess. But um, yeah, wow, that is just a very lucky run out.
Yeah.
But so it goes. Um,
Should we see the matchup again, or should
yeah,
we see Lat, or is there anything else that chat would be interested in seeing?
yeah, that's actually a good question. If chat has another matchup they're particularly interested in as well. Um,
London, you say this, but back in the day of Lotus Field, it was a big deal, like to play Yogg and Net Ready Eyes.
yeah,
That was your tech to get through Lotus Field. That was pretty fun. Is Callie Ob on the table? We definitely want to spend some stream time on it. I think you might have wanted to get a stream guest to kind of advocate for it better than I could.
yeah. So I don't think it's on the table for tonight, but it is going. It is a thing
Yeah,
that I
yeah,
know
yeah.
people want to see. So it's on my list of things. Um, okay. So this hand I think is probably still a keep, but is like I think closer to a median hand for this deck.
Mhm.
Um,
I always get tempted to think about the audacity in hands like this, but you
yeah,
never want to throw out your hand at the start of the game.
yeah. It is. It is very like turn one. Well, a you can't score on a Zef turn one anyway. Um, okay. Part of me just wants to go like Tithe Border Control Azef. And
You
like
don't have a good thing to feed the agenda, though.
yeah, it's like you have to get them to then run HQ and then you score the Azef and then you get like a spin doctor and hope that they don't like wreck your HQ, which seems not great again. I'm tempted once again to go for a draw first click here. Um,
It's fine.
yeah, I think it makes the most sense. Seamless, that's okay. It's not great.
It'll be good for the first SES score.
That's fair. Um, I
BCHQ, Tithe R&D.
okay. Yeah, yeah. I feel a little bit weird about giving up a BC on the remote potentially, right? Like we're so I might like, but it's like I might even just shift this over by one, but
Yeah, but Hoshiko is definitely going to run HQ.
yeah, that's fair. Um, this Tithe be doing so much more than an Ice Wall would is been great for us.
No, for sure.
It's
Yeah.
such a nice little card.
I
If
kind
we
of guessed it would be a better as an ice wall in this specific situation, but just
argue,
because it denies
yeah,
the trigger, but like, whatever.
yeah. So I'm kind of tempted to go like click for a credit, sell the Tithe for Rashida, and then put it behind a
Hmm.
Whoredom. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, I think that's just like, um,
That is exactly what I was thinking.
well, we're on the same wavelength. Just trying to get some tempo on this board, and we can. There's a lot of good draws off of Rashida, and if we don't get the Rashida, the runner's committing some tools as they are here. So we get to make reactive plays on this, and it's better to lose a Rashida this way than RSF. Um,
Although the Whoredom is like, yeah, the Whoredom is kind of like the worst ice to draw in that situation when we don't have the magnet,
yeah,
because now it's just kind of blank every turn.
it's blank until they run HQ, and then in theory we can border control, grab the magnet, and it's a live ice again.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh yeah. Um,
hmm.
we could put that on HQ.
We could, yeah. Oh, that's probably. I was like, we could also just do Ozef Mavirus, and then if they run, you just immediately purge, put down like Jacana. Um,
That works. But Virus HQ doesn't let us, or yeah, but
does
Virus
it does
HQ
the same
doesn't let us
thing?
put Azeath right. Oh, it does do the same thing. It does
Yeah,
do the same thing.
it does the same thing, um, and is less risky. But there's also an argument where like, oh, we could even just click for a credit Mavirus here, and just like put the Mavirus on HQ where it's quite safe. Um,
Uh, we do, yeah. I mean, we do like get it to Kana, have Seamless, and get the opportunity to jam the second Azeath though.
yeah, you're right.
Well,
I think that's. I think this line seems a
oh,
bit.
oh, oh shit.
Oh,
Oh shit, this is really good. We can do Kana out the magnet.
yes.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
yeah, and then we have
Yeah,
to
wow.
we probably sell I think we probably end up selling the border control here. Okay. So there's like an argument
Sure, yeah. Right.
so like we have
We could get the magnet that way instead.
yeah.
Yeah, somehow like well,
Okay. So it goes sometimes.
magnet is not
No
so
longer does
good,
enough here. Yeah.
right?
Okay. What do I want on this remote? Part of me just wants to put like a border control on server 1 here.
If you get Stavka, you can eat the Hortum and get a second piece of ice.
Um that is true. Um
We don't have any other way to eat the Hortum and make it in the run, so I think that's what I would do.
I mean, we can also just trash the Hordem and put a border control down too, just in the install. Um,
But like, is a border control better than a sandstone? Because the Stavka line also ices R&D.
yeah, I guess we can't really use it to. Okay, so it's like yeah, it's trash. Get a Stavka. Oh, it has to go on server 1. Eat the Hordem, put a sandstone on R&D, and then just hope we draw something good. Uh,
It doesn't have to go on server 1.
doesn't Stavka have to?
Nope.
Oh no, you're right. It's not a when you run on this thing. Okay. So where I guess then I'm like, okay, well, it's probably the Stavka goes on R&D, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay. So it's Stavka R&D, trash this and then sandstone the remote.
Hmm.
Okay. The thing I don't like it's kind of not an ice. Oh, we already used the trigger.
Did we?
Yeah, because we with
Oh,
the
we
virus pop.
uh
Um,
crap. Yeah, that would not have worked because we needed to. Yeah. Sorry, stream. I should be better at this by now.
yeah. I might just actually put the sandstone on this remote now. Um, Or just oh, actually, I like Chris's suggestion too of just overlaying the Hordem with envelopment and then just go install Advance in Oaktown next turn.
Do we need to overwrite the Hortum at all? Just make a
Uh,
new remote.
that's fair. I guess the advantage is it gets like the Botulists are going to end up in the bin. Uh, maybe you're right.
It gives us something to extract if we draw extract.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
And the trade-off is like either a simul chip like is activated, like
Yeah.
because they don't have the simul chip now, but like yeah.
I mean, so I guess it's just Oaktown and Server 2 Advance Mavirus.
Hmm.
Yeah. I might put the Mavirus on HQ again here. This doesn't particularly make a difference. Um, and if they like just like slam the hush, like we can maybe decide it's not worth popping them, like not being forced to pop them a virus.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Um, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because like if they were doing this one click later, I would just like we could pop them a virus,
Right.
get a whatchamacallit, but we don't have a 2 cost and the run ice, right? We this is where we not having the thimble rig hurts.
Oh, because like in between the install click.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that would probably be the line I would take.
Yeah, I think that would be the correct line, but
I guess we got what we asked for in terms of like an interesting negative magnet situation.
yeah. Yeah, I mean to me this is the what we really wanted was probably the BC on the remote because to me that's like the situation where we're in a better spot here. Okay, Rashida is definitely what I want in this server too here, I think.
Um,
Uh
the other line is to get Regolith, but I think that the Mavirus is yeah, no, I mean I'm just overthinking it. We should put the Rashida.
yeah. Okay. Well, that's certainly a draw. Um do I want
I
to
do think we're still in the game.
Yeah,
Yoshiko
agreed.
has no board, and we have a board.
Yeah. And, we can put a former carry on R&D and suddenly we like start having a situation like we actually start getting places pretty quickly. um Imp is in the bin, no simul chips found yet. A hippo goes down, that's not terrible for us. um
Why did you draw up to 5? Because
I don't
now we'll have to
mind.
discard a card.
I don't.
You
I
don't.
felt like it was a better use than clicking for a credit. I don't particularly mind having to discard a card or two. I guess would be the way I put
It's
it.
probably the audacity.
Uh, in this hand, probably. Um,
We did draw extract, so that's good.
yes, we did. So I think it's going to be. Let's see. What's the sequencing here? So it's probably extract
Oh
for
yeah.
envelopment, install the Ozef,
Uh,
install the Malapert. Uh,
wait. By envelopment, you mean from a virus, right?
um, Sorry, I meant the Malapert. Wait, sorry. What was I saying? Extract the Whoredom for a Sandstone to go on the server 2. Install.
Um.
We,
Okay.
we do already have a virus on the table, so I don't feel like we needed another one. Um,
Oh right. I forgot that we had one.
yeah, yeah.
Um. Can I propose that instead of playing the Malapert, we play the Formicary?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty reasonable, like a pretty good alternative. Um,
Because we have Seamless, we can play the Malapert next turn.
oh, that's a good point. I'm not used to thinking of Seamless in that way, but that's totally what it does. Um,
It just does a lot of things.
it sure
This
does.
is like this is what I mean when people are like, "Why don't you want to get Atlas counters with your Seamless?" And like, it just
Mhm.
lets you do stuff like this.
Yep. Probably I actually might want to discard the magnet here. Like we want it in the deck.
Wait,
We're not really gonna put it on the board.
I mean, like the Botulises are gonna come back.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess I'm like, oh, we can. I guess there's already a clot, so maybe the audacity is less useful. Um,
I think I'm discarding the Audacity. We also have a long way to go, and no Spin Doctors used. So
yeah,
like, heck, and we have Malapert to get it back like
yeah,
later.
yeah. This is actually a pretty good gachapon for us because the Botulus just actually doesn't have a good home. Um, really anywhere here. Um,
It's okay on the sandstone.
it's fine on the sandstone. It's not great. Um,
We're certainly happier to see it on the Formicary than on the sandstone.
yes, that is certainly true. Um,
Although it means touching SDS wins.
hmm.
But I think we just have to.
Yeah, at this point, we just kind of have to risk it.
We could even. Yeah.
Yeah, that is the thing I
Next
don't like
turn.
about the SDS as much. Is that it does like
No, it's.
sometimes
Yeah.
really open you up. But
It's an awkward position, uh, having to worry about that. Um,
wait, oh no, it was Rashida on top that got trashed. My goodness,
okay.
we danced with death
Giving me. Yeah.
for a real second there. Okay.
So I was going to say, like, this is the sort of situation that I feel a lot better with the Skunkworks deck than with the Trojan Horse deck.
Mhm,
Just because, like, it lets us come back from behind a lot.
mhm,
I was also going to say we could slow roll the Azyaf um, by like install Spin Doctor, install the Magnet on R&D, install
mhm.
the Malapert on the remote. Um, since we're not, since the odds are now half as much that he'll top deck the second SDS, maybe we could consider not doing that. But I still think the remote is pretty secure.
Yeah, I
Like
like that play
yeah.
more regardless, I think. Maybe not put the Malapert down. Um,
Well, if we put it down, what it does is it lets us next turn seamless, advance, score, and then install the next OSIAF protocol.
oh, that's fair. That's fair. Um, and actually, even if we put the spin doctor down as well, like if for some reason Augustus doesn't run the spin doctor with enough credits, we can even just get the seamless right back. Um,
Yeah.
I think it's unlikely to happen, but it can.
But hold on. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Uh if we feel that the remote is super safe, you could just advance the OSIAF protocol. And
Um,
then next turn, we seamless, install the spin doctor, shuffle the seamless back, and put the OSIAF protocol back in the remote.
I think I want to be a touch less greedy than that because
Okay.
there's probably some like there is I think in theory some permutation and the click saved goes like to be honest I might even be okay with like I think it's difficult for Augustus to run the spin doctor and trash it this turn unless they get exactly imp here. Um,
I think that he's a lot farther from running the remote because we still have Formicary Skunkworks and 3 gear checks on the remote.
yeah, that's fair.
So I think that, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we have the spin doctor. So
Yeah, like it's kind of come out in the wash here. I your line might have been slightly more correct. I'm like, oh, if I can not put down a credit and then a advancement. Um, Teachling asking, so you know you were going to score the Ozef. Is it worth it to rest the former carry as a trash target? No, because our 2/1 costs are already on the board. So I'm probably actually looking to trash something else on this board. Um, though I'm not
paint the
exactly.
sandstone and make Tucana.
Oh, yeah. That is how that works, isn't it? Um,
Like, this is why the deck is called Circle of Life.
yeah. Okay.
There's your.
Yeah. And now we actually get to save from the
So,
virus, right? So it's
right, yeah.
oh, and now we need
So
to res
question
the spin
here is,
doctor,
right,
right?
right.
Shuffle the seamless and an extract back in. I think I actually want the extract more than Rashida here, even though we have.
Um, so the Audacity is kind of a
Oh,
second seamless.
oh yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Okay, that's fine.
It's greedier to shuffle that than the extract.
Yeah.
Um, but
Okay.
I think ending the game quickly is kind of where we want to be.
Yeah. Tucana server 2. Oh, there's also an argument that we were supposed to. Oh no, the magnet's on the board. Never mind. Okay. Um.
Always click Ozia first.
Oh yes. Okay. Buzzsaw. Oh, that's good to know. I don't think. Oh, so we could put the Enigma on server 2 here, I guess. Um.
I think we're just rich enough to get envelopment though.
Yeah. Seamless, and then envelopment on server 2, and then just reinstall the OZF.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean, like this is actually convincing me that like we had like a fantastic draw game, and now this is like a much like below the median slightly game, but I still feel like we're in a pretty good spot. Um, which is like I
Yeah.
hadn't actually looked
Oh yeah.
seriously at 2x Managarm, and now I'm like, oh yeah, 2x Managarm is actually enabling a lot of pressure here, um, which is quite cool.
Is it a substantial difference from 1x on this board? Because we haven't been forced to get the first one out yet.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
I mean, this is not no. This is not a substantial difference from the 1x, but I think it gives us a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
more
yeah.
like late game resilience. So
Yeah.
if we res the magnet, the botulus just gets chipped for a buzzsaw, but I think that happens either way. Um,
Um, it makes the hedge fund awkward.
yeah, it does. And I guess we have one SDS, so it's like a 1 in 20 that we lose on this access, which is probably just better. Like resing the magnet and getting us out of the hedge fund range is probably worse. Um,
Right. And it doesn't. Right. So I was going to say, I want to play the hedge fund, and the click to play the hedge fund doesn't affect our clock because, like, yeah, we can get the audacity, but we don't have another seamless to never advance the SDS. So
oh, this is a decent question. If we want to purge the fermenter here, but I don't think we particularly do because our no. The idea is still
yeah,
to
right. Like Atmovirus into Skunkworks trades for the credits that the fermenter makes, basically.
yeah. Okay, so now it's hedge, seamless the Azef, advance. Um, this is the like where I'm less sure what the trash actually is, um, and why I'm like sometimes like I think I slightly prefer Atlas because I don't feel like there's a huge trash to go forward on the board state. I guess arguably envelopment for border control would be the best exchange, but I'm not even sure I like that as an exchange.
Um, Envelopment for Whoredom.
Is unfortunately because we're
Um,
only on one, it's in the bin already.
oh, it's dead. Uh,
Yeah.
let's see. Um, yeah, this is awkward.
Yeah, because it's like I almost wonder like is it just the Tucana and just get nothing with it? Um
Um,
or you know what, I could eat the HQ border control for a sandstone, and that's fine. It's not ideal, but it's fine. Um
yeah, that's fine. That's our least bad option.
yeah.
Do we have Afshar in the deck or Enigma?
We have Enigma.
Yeah, just get a Sandstone.
Yeah, because we know that the buzzsaw's in the bin already, so um okay. As at first, we hit Mimic and Lego. Malapert, we will get the Audacity because it is just a seamless launch. I almost want to get the Stavka.
We
And
have
that.
one in our hand.
Oh, we do. You're
Um,
right. Okay, never mind. Oh, right, right. Sorry. And I was thinking that we were getting into our hand, not onto the board. I don't know why I was doing that switch in my head. Um, I almost wonder if it is just like put the Enigma on the score. Actually, is it just Sandstone on R&D?
How many sandstones are out?
Uh, okay, that would be the last sandstone, so probably not then.
Right. So whichever one we get, the BC on the remote is turning into the other one.
Yeah.
So there's that. Um, if we get maybe getting Stavka is actually the best thing because it's just the third type of gear check.
Yeah.
Um, on the other hand, we're playing the Skunkworks deck and not the stacking gear checks deck.
Yes,
And
but you could do both, right?
yeah,
I guess the
sure,
other
yeah.
option is just the Stavka on HQ, just to really kind of seal that server as well. Um,
Runner's not coming into HQ.
yeah. Need minimum 6 credits to use Mav into Skunk and also score the SDS with Audacity. Yes, and so then because
Oh,
Tucana only
interesting.
does by 3 less, we'd be spending uh, what would we be
And we
spending?
would need
7, 4. Yeah, so we'd be 2 credits short of doing everything there. And then in theory, the
eight
former carry
credits.
would be another
Yeah.
two.
With eight
Um,
credits, we have Mavirus, Formicary, SDS. Um,
yeah, so it's like it probably is either like resing a former carry and putting it like on HQ just to make it like or yeah on HQ just to make it like that 2% more that like 1% more annoying to run because we do know that Mimic is in the bin. Um,
I think we need to ask ourselves if we're going to res this magnet um, on R&D.
I guess the answer is probably no, right? So is throwing
Well,
out the. I guess you know what I think I'm leaning into the sandstone on R&D line because we'll be still doing a 2 gear check into the Mavirus, um, and trashing the magnet will be at 7 for the line next turn. So we'll be
we're just
okay.
assuming that the magnet does nothing.
I think
Like
the
it's strictly worse than a sandstone.
I think so because I guess
Also,
it's the same card. It's actually the same card in this case.
yeah, it's the same card. So also, right, so we wanted 8 credits. If we spend 1 to trash the magnet and put a sandstone on R&D, next turn we go install credit advance, and then we still have 8 credits. Or we have 7, but we spent 1 of them that we need to on the advancement. So I think that math checks out. Like assuming we just draw a blank card next turn.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna toss the magnet, put the sandstone on R&D, because it
That feels good.
yeah basically we pay 1, we make them spend we're forcing a chip either way, but we're saving ourselves 2 credits by doing this. Um,
Hmm.
so
Yeah, that feels good.
yeah
Good idea. I was just not comfortable with leaving R&D like completely defenseless for 2 turns.
yeah no I think that's a like correct way to think about this. Is like we can't leave R&D open for absolutely for free. We can give it up at some cost, and like that looks like the direction we're maybe heading here. Um, okay, we're just going to. Okay, so the question here is: do I think that Augustus is going to spend like it's the okay? So we could pop Mavirus on this run and get the Managarm to go in server 2. But then Augustus gets 1 access here and does but we do need to pop them a virus either way because we need to.
Well, let him like break it first.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess
It's
the
still a
idea
3 credit break.
of so sorry. The reason I would actually do this before is because it makes it more expensive for Augustus to get in once. Um,
I, I, I don't. think that matters.
Okay.
Like the trade-off here is like he's paying 3. I do like getting it because the remote feels pretty secure.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I was gonna put the Skunkworks on HQ.
Oh, interesting.
I see where you're coming from. Um, yeah.
I
Maybe the
now
remote isn't as secure as I was imagining. Yeah, maybe it wasn't. Yeah, he could totally like clone chip um
the clone chipping a
a
hush
fermenter.
onto the envelopment actually just gets in, I think.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Like yeah, it's maybe I'm taking a line that's too risky, like a 1 in 5 to just lose on the spot, and like, you know, if we put the Manic Arm down, we're still alive, right? Like we're guaranteed still, or just about guaranteed. You know, Augustus can still take the 1 in 20, but they have to spend all their credits, and then like we're almost certainly safe through on the BC.
Yeah.
Um,
He does also have to have a second simulchip to clone chip the Botulus in because we can still get Enigma for the
yeah.
remote, but yeah,
No,
you're
you
you're
know
right.
what?
I think taking a 1 in 5 there is fine.
Oh, okay. Well, there's the second silent chip.
You're right.
Uh,
Yeah.
okay. I think it's. Oh, we drew the Enigma. That's actually the worst possible draw there. Because we have no 3 cost targets left. Okay.
Um.
Does that change the way to play this? I don't think it. So if it's click one, run the remote,
So
spend 2 chips. Oh, I think we
so he
get.
needs to run the remote click 1 because we have the BC.
Yeah.
If he
And
doesn't, he's paying 10 credits, and if he does, he's paying 5, and he doesn't have 5.
yes. And
He
actually,
doesn't even have 4.
I think what we do is on the envelopment trash, we get another BC and then BC twice. Um, and then there's no way that Augustus can get in, I think. So. Oh, wait, do we have the 2 credits to res the former carry, though?
We do.
Okay. Oh, right,
Click for
because we go
credit, install,
install,
advance.
advance, click for a credit. Then advance audacity. Yeah, we're completely safe here. We are safe provided
I
the
told you
top card of
that.
R&D is not SDS or 4 points.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't super follow how a second PC on the remote is good. Oh,
Because it drains clicks,
it
so you
forces
can't
10
click through.
credits.
Yeah, it forces 10
It
credits
forces
or
10 credits.
yeah.
It just forces 10 credits, period.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
So we have 2 PCs.
Yeah. Yeah, which is just not. I mean, it's technical. So Augustus could go for the chip botulus for a fermenter that actually gets them to 10, but then they have to actually deal with envelopment BC uh, for 0 credits, which is
Is Cookbook installed?
cookbook is not installed. Oh, you're right. So it's not even there. It only gets them to 4 or to 8. Um,
He's also going to lose a credit to Hoshiko.
oh wow, yeah, you love to see it.
I know.
This like I get why people like. I don't think it's actually clear cut that Lou is better than Hosh, but like I'm fairly heavily in the Lou is the better version of the deck. As third BC in the deck or bin. Oh, you're right. We actually don't have any. We don't even have the BC to get off the envelopment. I'm being quite
I
silly. Um.
uh I forgot earlier. I was thinking about this earlier. I think Stavka is the only 4 cost dice left.
Yeah. Yeah. Um.
Which protects SDS, amusingly enough.
Oh yeah, it does. That is funny. Um.
Depending what he does.
Are we getting 2 fermenters here? No. Okay, we're hushing the border control.
I don't understand what the runner is doing.
Okay, I don't either. Yeah, they also don't know. Like while we know that we have both the border control and the Enigma in hand, they don't. Um,
Chris is saying in chat like a play that gets in, but simul-chipping a fermenter. Ooh, it's LTF. Well, we can just end this run.
no, we can't because border control's
Oh.
hushed.
Oh. Let me finish my thought. So Chris was saying that simul-chipping a fermenter gets in, but simul-chipping a fermenter, you have to click. Oh, right. The hush. Right. That's awkward.
This is very awkward indeed. Yes. Um, so we can just go Managarm Enigma on Archives if we need to, but I would like to try and do.
Okay.
But we have to click for a credit to
Hold
do
on.
that. That's
Okay.
not great.
Okay. Can we just run through what the runner did?
Yeah, yeah. So runner's turn was simulchip the botulus for a fermenter, simulchip to install the hush on the border control. They are credit perfect to click for 4. Oh, they drew a card, installed the light the fire off of the paladin credit, lost a cookbook, and then light the fire the remote last click.
And draw a card was necessary for Formicary.
Ah, okay. Yes, it was. Okay. That's a good spot. I would not respond.
I mean, color me impressed.
Yes.
Uh,
Maybe I'm supposed to res the former carry there. I don't feel like I am, but I guess I could even just install the Managarm on Archives because that's going to keep them out with a double former carry if need be.
click to draw.
Yep. See if we can get a spin doctor. Oof.
Click to draw again. I guess we don't have I guess I was considering each extract as a spin doctor draw, but they're not on this board.
Yeah, it's not. Okay, what's my best install here? I think I don't love the Managarm install. That just feels like I'm losing slowly. Enigma seems like the best option, honestly.
Enigma gets us a turn.
Yeah. And I'm gonna.
Sorry, yeah, we should not have drawn that many cards.
It's all good. We're quite tight on cash, so I'm leaning towards the Stavka Winchester here, I think. Maybe Stavka's doing some good, though.
Discard the PC.
Yeah, because our
the Stavka is a gear check, and the PC is not, and the PC doesn't get anything.
Yeah, and honestly, having it back in our deck is probably slightly better for us anyway.
We can, at this point, we can get the Regolith. Well, I guess we're clicking for credits.
Yeah. I guess it's install the virus in server 2, click for 2 credits. Yeah.
How many simul-chips are spent?
I think all 3. No, just 2. Never mind. So decent odds we just lose this turn. But we're also like, we've gotten fairly unlucky in that, there's 2 spin doctors in the last 10 cards of R&D, which happens, right?
Well, also what we learned is that this deck is more vulnerable to Light the Fire.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a pretty flashy play, and I'm glad that we captured it on stream.
Yeah. Yeah, and now we just
I guess
lose.
Oh,
actually, no, we don't lose here. This is hilarious.
What do you mean?
So we don't lose to Audrey running the Enigma here because we get to purge the Audrey on approach.
Yeah,
and
and get the
get
regolith.
Regolith. Yeah. So Threemavirus doing quite a bit of work here. Oh, okay. This is fine.
There is no 4 cost left in the deck, by the way.
Yeah, there is 0 cost left in the deck. We're just gonna lose this envelopment, I think. Um,
I don't think we're winning this game.
yeah.
Like, and the reason I say that is because the deck's remote functions on being able to use Ob to get stuff, and we're
Yeah.
at our R&D is too thin to be able to get stuff.
Yep.
Um, we have Formicary Skunkworks in our hand, so if we draw the second SDS, that's conceivably a way to win fast enough.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's very like we have to. I mean, like a Spin Doctor draw also does a lot for us here. Um,
Yes. No doubt about that. I think you just put the Regolith in a new remote.
oh, you know what? That actually makes more sense. Yeah.
BC is blank, basically.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh!
Oh.
We kill him. We kill him.
Oh my goodness. One day I will remember that my virus does a net damage.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's so funny. I also like assume. I mean, I wasn't even thinking about that in the least. But like Cleaver also would have gotten through for a credit, so it's like not a optional depth.
I was confused why he discarded the last card.
Yeah. Can I go Regalit? No, I can't score this Oaktown in any fashion. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Put the Skunkworks in take 6.
Yeah. Oh, because yeah, we can just put the Formicary down. We have, yeah. Okay. Though I think we just lose to run archives here, right?
Oh, we're out of... Wait, how is there still an Audrey counter?
Yeah, wait. What got the Audrey counter? Oh, because the run was successful for Knobkery.
Oh, knob.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, we're dead. Sorry for the anticlimax.
Why not push the Oak there? Because we can't. We were started the turn on 0 credits, so we can't actually push the Oak.
Yeah, we can't install advance. I'm still confused why he didn't spend a credit to play around.
Yeah, to play around with virus, but
Yeah, okay. I think we push the concede button.
no. So actually, I don't think he
No?
does because Formicary actually keeps him out of archives because he was only on 1 card in hand, the Diesel, and so he after breaking the Enigma, he can't break the Formicary. So we were actually technically still alive. But we actually just have to draw for a Spin Doctor here, I think. Oh, wait, no, it's... Yes, okay. Yeah. So part of me is like, is it click Regalith, put the Stavka on archives?
I think it might be.
I think that's the line. It might even just be click Regalith twice.
I can't believe we're still playing this game.
I can't either.
We definitely put the stuff on archives.
I guess I just like to me I'm like I don't see another forward way to go in this board state than clicking the Regalith twice. Like clicking to draw I don't think works.
No.
Um,
I think the runner's best play here is to run the remote, click twice, and force the Formicary res.
Agreed. Yeah.
Because, yeah.
I think it's definitely right. We happen to have another forma carry, so it's okay. Are they gonna trash this for like a bunch of credits? I guess to get an Audrey counter. So they have to ditch they have to ditch more cards than they have in their hand here, which is good for us.
Audrey boosts 2 per card, right?
3 per card, but Stavka has to go to 7 here, I think.
So he can break the Stavka. It just takes all of his cards.
Yeah, and that means he can't get through the Enigma. So
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to do it. I guess okay. The other argument is I could not do the Stavka thing, spends 2 cards and then just loses to the former carry, um, or like
We don't
ends
want
the
to
run to
spend the
former carry.
Formicary.
Yeah, I feel
We
like
need the Formicary to win the game.
yeah. The question is, do I just eat the border control here for nothing? I guess no. It's eat the Regolith, right? Border
BC at least taxes a credit.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think we're done clicking the regolith.
I'm pretty sure we don't have a 1 cost, so no.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, and this means that he needs to go in with 2 Audrey counters when he comes back for this next time he does. Okay, I should have counted the steel skins, but so we will have to use the former carry here, but that's okay.
It's 1 counter per 2 subroutines.
Yeah. Oh, Jack
All
out
right.
instead. Okay, I'll take it. Fermentor comes down. Spin doc. Are you kidding me? Still no spin doctor.
Um,
I mean, is it hedge install advance? No, we don't need the. We do not need the credit because we're spending 5 here.
the remote is not safe with just 1 Formicary.
Oh right, because it's just click. Wait. Oh right, because they can pay 5. He can pay 5 and 2. Um.
We could install advance with the Formicary.
And play like a multi-turn game.
Okay, so okay. Install hedge fund, put the Formicary. Or even install hedge fund, put the Stavka.
Install the. Why are we putting the SDS on the table? In that case,
I don't know.
we can't draw into the seamless. I feel like I just kind of want to
I
go
think
like
if we
hedge fund Stavka on the remote, forma carry just in a new server.
I think that if we that's fine.
Or okay, here's the wild card option is try and draw the 2 and 6 spin doctor.
Okay. We do have a click to spare
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm
between this turn
thinking.
and next turn,
Yeah.
so that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Hedge fund, put the spin doctor, I guess.
Yeah. Do you want it in the Managarm server? Probably not.
Chad is pointing out that we need to make sure that he can't farm Audrey counters.
Yeah, that's fair. So I think spin doctor in the new remote in that case. We'll just pop it on. Like we're always committed to popping this on run.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll probably be shuffling back the SDS and the Managarm, I think. So that if Augustus decides to go and clear out the Managarm, we're kind of protected. The other option would be to shuffle back the Seamless, I guess, but Or a virus is probably the other option. Um,
Um, eesh.
I mean, this was always going to be the draw, I guess. Okay.
So a nice thing about shuffling back the Skunkworks is the Stavka in our hand can make it.
Hmm. Yep.
Whereas we don't have a way to make them a virus on the board.
We
Oh,
can
we
sell the
do. The
BC.
Stavka on archives. The Stavka on archives.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Okay, yeah. Get them a virus back.
Okay, so it's get back Mavirus and SDS, I guess.
At some point, the runner's just going to start running. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
here he
Th-
comes.
this is correct for Augustus here. So this is two cards from hand. Okay, I think we actually have to use the former carry here, amusingly enough, to try and survive. Um, it just
I don't
makes
hate it.
it just makes next turn more awkward, but
Yeah, because I mean, even if he like touches a 2-pointer, he's just going to keep coming back into HQ.
yeah,
And this is kind of we're kind of glaciering him out in the sense that the resources are Audrey counters.
yeah. The biggest challenge here. Oh, I guess actually install SDS, advance, install Stavka works here, doesn't it?
I think it does.
Yeah. Do we have enough credits? We need. No, we're a credit short on doing that, but I think it's probably okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're only a credit short if we're resing the Stavka,
Yeah.
and right.
And now it's actually a 2-pointer in hand, so it's like not as important that we prevent the hand access.
You could
Uh,
actually discard. You could discard an agenda here.
I guess why would I not like that? Because it means if he can successfully run HQ and archives, he's guaranteed a win rather than run. Oh, but running HQ twice is actually arguably easier. So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's not again saying if you overinstall the BC, you're not a credit short. Yes, but I don't think we want to overinstall the BC because we can res the Stavka and potentially get the Cleaver and the Audrey, so it becomes a gear check again, or even the Hush
Yeah.
and the
There are
Cleaver. There's like
there are
lots
three
of things we can
programs,
do.
so crashing 2 programs doesn't protect the SDS.
Okay, so labor rights, shuffling back, simulchip, simulchip, chimulchip. I think this is too slow.
You
Oh
remember
no,
what I said
this.
at the start of the stream about
Okay, so this is res Stavka, trash Stavka. I feel like it's. What are the two trashes here?
we actually maybe don't trash the Stavka because it's protecting the agenda we discarded.
Oh, that's fair. We're going to go an extra turn here.
Simulchip. Okay,
There's no simulchip. So
we
this
did
is.
shuffle back on the virus, so right. So if we eat the Stavka and make him a virus, that's worth an Audrey counter, and an Audrey counter happens if he installs the simulchip that he just labor righted. So
Yeah.
that's arguably better. Yeah, I think that's better. It still defends archives.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and it's just more flexible, is what it is.
Yeah. I'm going to put this probably on HQ, I think. I guess I could put it in server 2 here.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
well, put it on HQ because of Light the Fire.
Oh, okay. Uh, hold on. Okay. Um, okay. So the trash is here. I guess it's Cleaver Audrey, right?
It has to be.
Uh, that actually doesn't work.
Oh
Oh no,
no.
it does work because he can't install SDS here. Uh, I'm like, I could also trash the Hush instead, so that border control is online, but there's nothing for it to actually cycle to.
Oh, if we okay, well, okay. Earlier I was saying that if we trash the BC, there are 3 programs, but actually trashing the BC trashes the Hush.
Oh, that's true too.
So it would protect
Uh,
the SDS, but
oh, you're right. You're right. That would protect the SDS. Yes, yes.
it
Okay,
doesn't
I know.
protect it next turn. It
Yes.
doesn't protect it next turn.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, I was hoping we would draw the last Spin Doctor there instead, but so it goes.
Spin Doctor doesn't well, it adds a little bit of flexibility.
Yeah.
Um
Do we really have the last? I mean, the last extract we can't even really play here, but uh, okay. I'm like, can I go
Install
credit
the form of
credit
carry so
install
quickly.
forma carry? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just has to go to the new remote. We don't really have a choice, which could mean a Knobkery gets farmed. Uh,
Um if we res the formicary, we're we're not scoring the SDS either way.
that's fair.
So arguably
I should go on archives.
it should yeah, I guess it should go.
No.
Yeah.
Is archives right? Because we purge after.
Um he doesn't know that we discard an agenda, so R&D is probably better. Oh no 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 no! What are you doing? You need the Enigma to protect the agenda we discarded.
Okay, okay. Oh shoot! Wow. Thanks, JNet. Thanks for nothing. And I guess we know that the game is not in R&D anymore. Um,
You know
well,
that, but doesn't it doesn't matter where we put the formicary.
yeah. I guess you know what. I kind of want to just put it in a new remote. I don't think it matters. Like it becomes a free successful run no matter what. Putting it on R&D does potentially lose the line of trash the last Spin Doctor, imp the last card in R&D. Um, which is difficult to do through a Sandstone, but very easy to do to an unresable forma carry.
I wasn't thinking of trashing the sandstone either. Literally,
Oh,
the trade-off for
okay.
me was the credit to install it versus the successful run.
Yeah, I guess we can't start on. I guess we could start on 2 credits again. I just wanted to have be making some forward progress here. But I guess we're not actually doing that. Okay, so we eat the Hush.
We're using the formicary is what we're doing.
Yep. Yes, London. 2 credits is enough with
Yeah.
Audacity, but we had no way to get to 2 credits here. Oh, wait, this is dumb.
What?
I think I can fire the BC. Can I fire the BC after the subroutines resolve? Uh,
No, because in the next paid window, the runner gets priority first.
uh,
Like subroutine firing doesn't happen
yeah,
like
yeah.
as
Oh,
part of a corp. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. Runner gets priority after subroutines fire. Yeah, Corp can fire paid ability windows before subroutines fire, but after like there's not a. It's not actually a paid ability thing. Okay. Um,
I like this because the Stavka's still a gear check, and
Yep.
like we eat his credits.
Yep.
And then next turn we go credit, install Forma carry.
Yeah. It does feel bad that we're making literally zero progress with 2 cards left in our deck. Oh, sorry.
I think we might have this.
I don't know if we actually do. Maybe I was. So I think in retrospect, probably trashing the Hush. Oh. Uh, might have been correct in leaving the Audrey. Because we have the Mavirus to like. Well, it doesn't. The Mavirus doesn't quite work in time correctly, but that's fine.
Um, yeah, I see where you're coming from. It's pretty difficult to reason about.
Yeah.
Like that was what, 3 turns ago? Two
Yeah.
turns ago. Wait, no, it was just last turn.
So we lose to getting into R&D here, right? But that's actually fairly difficult. Well, no,
We
it's
lose
not.
to imping RNG.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Uh, yeah, there's just nothing to do about that, I guess. Was the second verse same as the first?
Yeah.
So I think the winning line for Augustus here is install Simulchip, hush Botulus onto Sandstone, and hope that the top of R&D is trashable, which in this case it is. Um, and he can break the Sandstone in a paid ability window that we can't beat. Um,
You know what it is? The R&D card.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
it's
Spin
Regolith, isn't it?
Doctor.
Oh,
It's
it's
our.
been Doctor. It's been Doctor.
Oh wait, but he's going in with 0 credits. Yes. Okay. Oh wow. Okay. Wow. Jeez.
Don't obviously as the Forma carry.
Wow. Okay.
What a game
What
of
a game. That was one
what a
of the games
game
of Netrunner of all time.
of null signal games compatible with Android Netrunner.
uh,
Oh man. I cannot believe
that was such a weird game. I actually don't think
like
Augustus missed a win per se without like going for singles on centrals. Like I don't think they actually
I
had
don't think
a missed
yeah, I
archives
don't think he did.
access, but yeah, I don't think he did.
Yeah, I was thinking about like the time I said, okay, we just push the concede button. Like there were like 3 other times leading up to that I thought of saying we push the concede button. Uh
So Augustus, now that you're in chat, there was 2 points in archives in that last turn, so not enough for you to win. Um,
we had discarded like 2 or 3 turns ago, we discarded an agenda because we thought you could run HQ twice. So that's why we kept the Enigma on archives.
yeah,
But there was just 2 points. You would have had to get in twice somewhere.
yeah. The turn like in the after you light the fired an SDS into archives, I don't think there was ever actually a turn you could get in. There's a turn where you thought you missed it, but the forma carry that we had on the board meant that you didn't miss it because you only had 1 card in hand. It might have won you the game down the road, but you didn't like miss an immediate win on the spot. Um, so,
What
that's
I want to know, Augustus, is why you discarded a card, like the last card, to break the BC with Audrey. Because Like you played into the Mavirus kill, which we missed.
Yeah, stream
But we
stream
also
did
kind
not
of,
miss the virus kill, and
yeah, no,
but
we kind of got a more instructive game for having missed it, though.
yeah, I think it was really interesting to see what this end game looked like, and like that this game could have gone a bunch of different ways in the last turn, but or last couple of turns, but uh, yeah,
I
this is
think something. Go on.
no, please go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna say like one takeaway from this game is that end games against Mulch are always like really weird and scrappy and like having huge gaps in the board, like missing entire parts of the game plan, but it's okay because you're reasoning about what parts of the game plan the other deck has given up on.
Hmm.
Like like here we were like, okay, the runner has completely given up on Buzzsaw, and so the Enigma is going to be able to hold out. Um, and there's a little bit of the bluff there because we discarded the agenda. Um, but like, yeah, the runner's not going to install a Buzzsaw here. Um, so I just think that endgame dynamic in this matchup is really fun, and I'm glad we got to feature it.
Yeah, I
Uh,
it's
so
it's
yeah,
it's a it's one of my favorite things. Like it's like I know you're like, oh yeah, the op is like super favored to all the Arasana builds, but I always felt like that was one of the interesting parts in that matchup was like the okay, we're both having to figure out what our pieces do because of like how Hush interacts with the game plan, and like we saw, like Hush did a ton of work here. Um,
yeah, yeah.
like Hush
I
is quite
yeah.
good.
I'm not used to thinking about Hush. I always get ambushed by the Hush. Let me read what Augustus said in response.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I don't know if that's too small. I can probably make this a bit bigger.
oh, he was saving 2 credits to trash Spin Doctor. That's why he did it.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Um,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Um, I think the other question here is, would this have been better with hostiles? And like, well, yes, it would obviously have been better with hostiles because we had to draw the second SDS,
Yeah.
and we got lucky that we did. Um, and like we were trapped, like not quite having enough credits to score the SDS. Where if we had a hostile, we'd just like score it and then never advance the other thing. And like it's the same like turn clock. Uh, but the trade-off is like, what are those 2 deck slots? Um,
I mean, you're not gonna like this. My answer is probably the former carries. Um,
right. Well, right. Yeah. Like,
and
and the
to
former carries won the game.
well, I guess my counter argument to the former carries won the game. Going install advance, score a hostile instead of drawing that second or third former carry would have solved our economy problems, gotten into Kana Malapert trigger instead of the SDS kind of taking the light the fire. And then we'd still have the
Yeah.
audacity in our hands. So it's like a that's the like swing in tempo to me, and why I'm like, oh, former carry did a lot of work this game. The like, and it's hard to run the counterfactual because it's like it's not like this one game had this specific set of circumstances
Right.
where former
Right.
carry did 100% win the game in this way. But for me, it's the like, oh yeah, we drew this former carry that we drew on R&D that was there for most of the game. Like, yes, it ended up just barely saving our bacon on HQ, which is like, a fun little line, but you know, uh,
Well, I mean, it's
it,
not that it was a just barely thing. It's like it gives the corp like the reactive choice to use it when it's maximally effective.
yeah, that's fair. It is like a cool piece of ice for that, and like this is a matchup where the runner is actually taxed on cards, so forma carry
Yeah.
actually like this is maybe the persuasive argument with Mulch in the meta is Mulch does have access to Clot, right? So saying, oh, I'm going to fast advance 3 points, usually in 2 steps, is like less
Right.
consistent. And then
Right. Like it's not
also,
about.
the
Yeah.
Formicary hits the mulch decks pretty hard because they tend to be running with very few cards in hand.
Hmm.
And so it will end the run, compared to Ray Krim, who will probably just say, oh, yeah, if I need to get in, I always have the cards in hand to eat it, kind of thing.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, it's not about your hostiles getting clotted, but like you do plan to Audacity a 3-2 in that deck just because 4 scores take so long. And
Uh,
that you can get clotted and lose.
I mean, I do honestly score just 4 a lot of the time.
Sure, yeah. No,
But,
yeah. You do if you don't you draw your hostile.
uh,
Oh, you mean
yeah,
even
yeah,
with
yeah.
SDS in the deck?
I'm talking in the SDS list decks.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
right. If we had to score 4, we'd lose this game.
I don't think we do. And let me go to like okay, let's go to the
We did click for we did click for credits a lot that could have been advancing in Oaktown.
yeah.
So
Um,
yeah, like there's
here's
that.
okay. So let's okay. This is our opening. Like nothing changes. Nothing changes. Uh, you know, all this stuff is the
By
same.
changes, do you mean are you considering
So like
if
I'm
we're
saying
playing a
okay,
hostile deck?
if we're playing hostile decks, so the we're gonna to make this swap. It's the SDSs become oh goodness, the SDSs become like a okay. This gets awkward. So let's say whenever we draw a Formicary, we're actually drawing a hostile, and whenever we're drawing an SDS, we're drawing a Atlas, right?
Uh-huh.
And then the third Formicary can be a real Formicary, just to be like the maximally. I don't know if that's the
Okay,
maximally
sure.
bad line or whatever, right? Well, like we can think about this however we
No,
want
sure.
to,
Yeah.
but
I
like
I like where you're going with this.
yeah, so it's like okay, so let's play this game out, and we have yet to draw anything. We've not drawn any of these cards. Okay, so here's the first form of carry we draw. Um, let's go. So we draw form of carry here. So we're now pretending that this is instead a hostile takeover. Does this
Mhm.
change our play this turn at all? No, I don't think it really does. Um, we fire the Rashida. We still like it doesn't make a difference to our play still here, right? Now here we couldn't put the Formicary down. We'd probably instead of putting the Ozef down, we'd be putting the Malapert down. So our hand and probably putting the
Yeah.
magnet
Yeah.
on R&D. So now we're suddenly in a slightly worse spot, right? Because now our magnet we're not going to be
Is
at
committed.
is committed
Right.
on the board, right? Um,
Also, well, the lines are going to diverge here because with the IZF, we eat the sandstone and make a Tucana,
yes,
which we
and
don't do if we're scoring. Right.
yeah, that's true. Now, amusingly, magnet on R&D actually would be better than the former carry
It would
here.
have been better. Yeah.
But that's yeah, and it's like we eventually we're going to get to this like really big hypothetical. And so now our hand is Atlas. So the hand we're pretending in this hypothetical is our hand is Ozef, Atlas, uh, Malapert, like it,
Hustle.
and hostile. So now we like
Right.
score the hostile and have to go. Oh, but so instead we pop them a virus here, get the Jacana and fire. And so now
Okay.
we spend basically 5 credits. We go plus 2 credits, so we're at 15. We get our Malapert fire and we get our Tucana trigger in exchange for a hostile. We've probably also prevented this R&D access. Like, so this is what I'm saying. It's like at this point the game starts diverging immensely to a point where it becomes really difficult to like talk usefully. I think,
Right. Right.
but it's the like okay, we score this hostile. Maybe we put the Winchester on HQ. Maybe we like that's actually probably the line I would go for honestly because my hand has 6 points in it at this point.
Right.
Um, and the remote still feels reasonably safe for the BC Sandstone Malapert Tucana. I probably actually am not keeping the seamless launch. I'm keeping the Audacity in that line. Um, though maybe that's wrong. And then you just install either with that board state. I'm actually probably installing the Atlas, hoping to seamless it, and doing kind of a similar line to what we end up doing on like 2 turns later. So like part of my argument would be like, oh, we're sort of a turn ahead. We're trading a point for more econ and kind of being in a slightly different board state. And then it's like, okay, now we're at Like, it's probably not worth going through this whole exercise of like trying to pretend cards are other cards because, we're like suddenly already pretty diverged on how you play the game. Um, but I think my argument would be,
Yeah,
okay, we'd be able to push pretty aggressively here, and Augustus's ability to contest this remote quickly are somewhat finite. But
I think backing up like the abstract comparison. Well, the early SDS factor was not relevant in this game, but that is also a trade-off,
mm-hmm.
which can give you a free win against like Criminal, for example, but probably doesn't do much against our worst matchup, which is Lat.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also like, what was I gonna say? Like,
Also, if someone in the chat wants to get up a red crim or a lat, that
I
would be
think Lat would
fantastic.
be.
Lat actually, yeah, lat would be ideal.
Let's
If
close out the night with Lat. Um, okay. Anyways, my question for you is: I think should we play a deck with Hostile in it, and fewer Formicaries, because we kind of know how Formicary behaves,
mm-hmm.
and also corollary, like instead of cutting two Formicaries, could we cut a different, uh, like Formicary plus something else?
Yeah, I think we probably could.
Um,
Um, okay, so let's see. So we need two atlases.
oh, you have 3 Oaktowns. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I play 3 Oaktowns in the. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I play 3 Oaktowns in the Hostile version, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I only play 2 in the 9 Agenda version, but that's because I have more than one seamless launch. And if we played a seamless launch build, then Oaktowns are better. So, anyways, that's an aside. We're at 50. We cut 1 Formicary and we need 1 more cut.
Mm-hmm.
It could be the Tucana. I don't think it can be an ice.
Yeah, I don't think it can be an ice. Yeah, it's like Tucana or Hedge Fund, I think are the cuts.
Yeah.
And it's probably the Tucana between those two, I think.
Let's give that a shot. Do you want to try a 1 Skunkworks build? Or do you want to just kind of leave that to the realm of abstract
Let's leave that to
reasoning?
the realm of. So I actually I have been playing a 1 Skunkworks build, and like these couple of games have convinced me that 2 is probably just what you want.
Right.
Maybe without Formicary, like maybe if you cut all the Formicaries, like then you're like, okay, now I can spend my influence on other cards. Like I can put a Thimble Rig in, I can put, I don't know,
Second
maybe
seamless.
a second
Half run.
seamless in, half run in. If you want to get really weird, a wraparound maybe. Like I could see a wraparound maybe making sense.
What? Yeah, well, it's only funny against Slap Vandal, which is already a good matchup.
Yeah, I guess it's decent against Audrey because until they get their cleaver down, it's like it's 3 cards or a Botulus, and then you're like, okay, cool, I'll sell my wraparound for a Tithe, and be pretty happy.
Yeah, but they're always going to have their cleaver down.
I yeah, maybe that's just, yeah. I don't think it's super. It would be my like first slam, but okay, Big thanks to Augustus for playing. I'd love to get someone
Yes, thank
else
you.
in the chat to just play a game of Lat. I promise it's going to be easier for you than you think. It is a very difficult matchup for Ob, and Lat has to play carefully, but it's not like a. Okay, yeah, thanks, not again.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks. Big thanks to Augustus. That was you gave us a good run for our money.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that's also some of the reasons I love the op rush builds because, yes, sometimes you do just run over people, but it has a tendency to create games like that.
You want to Magnet, we're not going to learn a lot in this matchup from.
Oh
We
yeah,
want to
that's
change
fair.
that.
I do feel like Magnet was like decent. I don't know if it was great, but it was decent. So you want probably a thimble rig in that spot instead, which I think
It,
is a pretty reasonable call.
yeah,
Yeah, I can
yeah.
definitely like,
That'll
especially
let us do some.
yeah, it's definitely like if you know you're up against a lot of lats, I would definitely prefer thimble rig. I think it's just like it's a 1 credit difference for them to break, but like a lot more flexibility for you. Um, okay. I am somewhat tempted
Sand
to.
is good.
Okay, I was going to say I'm somewhat tempted to throw this hand back, just because it doesn't present early threats to the runner. Um, I guess like BC with a spin doctor in it looks like an early threat, and then like Pharmacary
I
on
was gonna
HQ.
say that I keep it because to me the Mavirus always looks like Regolith,
Hmm. Oh, okay.
and drawing Skunk makes that even more compelling.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
If we put the Spin Doctor behind, it's awkward that like we're not gonna have anything to shuffle back with him.
yeah. I wonder if it is actually
So
just BC virus, uh, and like Pharmacary on
that'd
HQ.
be fine.
It's a little bit awkward on the like run into pinhole line, but that's I think we can think about those lines when they arrive, I guess.
Pharmacary on R&D perhaps.
So the reason I'm saying HQ is I think it's a less valuable server, but a more valuable turn one server, right? And like so, getting a
Okay,
realize on
sure.
R and
Yeah.
D, but not costing me an extra credit is like important. Um,
No, yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right.
yeah, I guess
Res
I do
it.
have to res it here. Yep.
We get the credit.
Yeah, we're a credit short to actually go and get the regolith right away, but I think that's all right.
I think we get a credit and then take 6.
Yeah, that seems okay. Yeah, now because we have the manic arm in hand already, that seems pretty good. And we don't have like other stuff to really be pushing here. I guess there's a small argument for putting the Tithe on R&D, but I don't think that's actually super critical here. Um, okay, Stone Ship makes some sense into Stone Ship.
I
And
would, yeah. I mean, I don't want to leave a 12 credit regolith if I
yeah.
ever can avoid it.
Oh, oh man, that is actually kind of unfortunate.
Sure.
It's not the
It's
end of the world,
fine. It's
but
fine.
to me, I'm kind of like this makes me want to just click Regolith twice and install the Tithe. Um,
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah.
There's an argument that we should put the Skunkworks so it can protect itself.
Oh, uh, yeah, I actually like that argument.
Probably not going to run HQ, but
An odd rather asking, is there any merit to one SDS, one hostile? I don't really think so. Um, you don't have ways to tutor the hostile unless you like over advance an atlas, but you're cutting atlases in the like if that's your 4 points, most likely. And you're also not that reliably getting atlas counters most of the time. Against
um,
Shaper, it's maybe one of the matchups where I think you kind of can force an early atlas counter, but
that's Colin, by the way, another Pittsburgh player.
oh cool.
Um, I would like to have more ice before I jam this agenda. Uh, I agree though. Like the Dear Mr. Boss build actually played a 1-1, but I think it's kind of like tribal, I guess. Like you're like if you draw like both of them, it's bad. Or I guess tribal is not the right word, but it's like it introduces like weird inconsistent. I thought about this earlier and I have forgotten half of the argument, but yeah. So if you draw and discard the Malapert and
Oh,
shuffle it back,
I like that. Yep.
yeah, it spends a Spin Doctor shuffle slot, but there's just
Yeah. I
comfort
mean,
in it,
Matthias and
guys.
Malapert are pretty like this gives us a lot of tempo as well. Um, so next turn is I think okay, yeah, this is actually a pretty clean turn. So it's going to be pop the Spin Doctor. I'm always extracting the Regolith here. Uh,
I don't think so. We
Interesting.
don't need the money right now.
Okay. This is maybe a playstyle that, for me, I'm like happy to extract a Regolith like very early, honestly. Um,
It might be matchup dependent. My instinct is that I would want the effect from extract later.
mhm.
Like if something gets a hush put on it, um, or if there's an development that gets empty and becomes a liability.
Mhm.
Um, I could be wrong. Like there's matchup differences. Um,
This is a little bit unfortunate as I have to eat the tithe, I think. Um,
uh,
I could eat the Formicary on HQ, actually.
is Skunkworks not?
I guess the other option is I don't even score this turn and just go mega greedy. Like Stavka and R&D instead.
Um, we could eat the BC.
Feels like I'm giving up a lot. Like BC is still a challenge.
Is it against a 22 credit pool?
I don't think there's a 3 cost. I guess actually, you know what? Sandstone is pretty reasonable.
Even Enigma is like a different gear. Oh, we have the Horde. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Um, yeah. My thinking is the BC is kind of already a sandstone in this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so
All
like
right.
it's really just kind of a click.
Yeah, and this is a seamless launch
Whereas,
grab, I think. Um,
yeah,
what's the discard though? It's the annoying piece.
hmm,
Part of me wants to say Formicary. We already have the one, but maybe it's the Stavka because there's a Simul chip down already. But there's also an Echelon in the bin.
uh, I hate to say it, but I think it's the extract I advocated for you not to play.
Yeah, I think. Yeah,
The second Formicary is going to be essential for chipping away at this credit pool.
yeah, agreed. Okay, so 2 Simul chips down. I'd love to draw an agenda here. We did not. So I think it's just Rashida, Formicary, take a credit. Because I don't really want to do the draw. Um, I guess I could put the Stavka on R&D instead. Or on the server 1, just a triple gear check.
I think it wants to be on server 1
Yeah.
because the way we win this matchup is by like making an overwhelming remote, not by like hedging our bets and playing a longer game. We
Yeah.
lose the longer game.
Yes, we lose a longer game quite hard, so we need to kind of like the way you beat the lat is making them overextend on the remote before they can really do a lot.
I like that we drew the third extract after discarding the second one.
Yeah, yeah. Compile is a spicy include. Um, I think I'm eating the Tithe on R&D here. I think I like every other card more. And I don't really want to
Um,
trade the Malapert for a Spin Doctor, which is the other option here, I guess.
why not? Oh, because
Um,
we're firing Rashida.
yeah, because we're firing Rashida, most likely. Maybe not guaranteed, honestly.
Is he getting in? I think he might actually just be getting in.
So, Pop SMC. What is sorry? Thinking. Okay, so compile goes and gets echelon. Except it really shouldn't. It should get a non-echelon, or if it gets echelon, it needs to cycle it.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
not sure what is being. I guess the SMC is going to be used on approach, and then get another SMC
I mean,
probably.
it's gonna probably get the decoder. So get the unity, compile out the echelon. I suspect here.
Oh, you're just saying that he's going to let the program go back?
Maybe, though. Honestly, you shouldn't here. Yeah, you should. Yeah, I don't know what you do here. I kind of I think it's probably so part of me wants to say math is for blockers here. Because Stavka is not cheap to get through. And I can like we can trading a Stavka res for like two simul chips is great if it fires. Um
Maybe we do just eat the tithe.
I think it's eat the tithe. I think the tithe is not going to do a ton for us here. Like it would be nice, but I'd
Oh, wait,
rather
wait, 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 wait. Cleaver is installed, so we could just eat the sandstone.
oh yes, we could have. Um
Like, Cleaver Turbine is installed. I think we should
yeah.
eat the sandstone.
Actually no. So the
No?
reason I'm saying no, never mind, is because like I want to keep some pressure on the turbine here, or like on having to break everything here.
Hmm.
Um, maybe I'm wrong.
I don't
Okay,
think the turbine's going anywhere.
probably not. But so now, okay, so it's going to be Pijasau. You can't pass this twice, so that's going to go on the bottom of the deck. Um, so now it's Pop SMC for Unity, which is 5. Oh, it's Buzzsaw, which is even worse. So we actually could protect the Rashida here. It's probably not. Oh no, we it kind of. Oh no, it's just res.
We can.
Yeah. Do we res everything here? I think so, right? This costs 1.
We can't res the Hortum.
Yes, we can. We res Hortum, we res Manic Arm, and we prevent the access.
How? He has 2
Spends.
clicks.
Oh, you're right. What was I thinking? Oh, but then it's yeah, and then you can trash the Rashida and the Manic Arm. Um,
The Hortum, like, doesn't do anything anymore anyways,
yeah, that's
like,
true.
for the rest of the game. Arguably, we should have eaten it, but
Yeah, I
that
mean,
might be too much precognition.
yeah, I mean, I think we probably knew. So okay. Can I just trade this Manic Arm up? 2 clicks, 3 credits, goes to 1 credit. Then extract the Sandstone for another Manic Arm if we top deck an agenda.
Wait. We just Skunkworks Formicary, right?
I feel
Like,
like
that
we're
stops the run.
it stops the run, but is that worth it over to fire Rashida to blow our like Manic Arm like trick? because he's going to get back into this server again for 4 credits for the rest of the game.
I think it's worth it because it protects the skunkworks.
Okay.
I do see what you mean about the remote sucking, but it like we have 2 extracts in our hand, so we can kind of fix the remote.
Mm-hmm.
Um, make sure to did you click on their
I did.
formicary? Good.
What program are we getting here? Parisia? Mentor?
I don't understand
Yeah, I
the
don't either.
simulchip here.
Okay, it's just a take back simul chip. That seems fine.
I do share your concern that the remote now sucks. um,
Right. So like the reason I was like, oh, we could blow this like we could let him spend 4 credits here, trash this stuff out. Then we extract the sandstone into a managarm and hope we just top deck an agenda, right? And we still get and then we can have a double former carry in a
but
futures
like
move.
this line has a Rashida fire in it.
Yeah. Why are they doing this?
That seems wrong.
That seems wrong. Oh, I guess they think this is an agenda. That's why they're doing this.
Right. I guess. I don't think it's correct. I think that you just let the agenda go through, keep your 5 credits,
Yeah.
and yeah,
There is no F, but there's no fast advance here. So,
that's funny.
okay. So, what's our best ice upgrade on this board? There really isn't anything that we can do meaningfully to upgrade our ice on this server.
Um, Envelopment is a great draw.
Oh, it is.
Uh,
You're right. It's not great, is it? Oh, no, it's okay.
I think that install an agenda, install the formicary, and play an extract is a pretty reasonable line.
Yeah, I think that is the line.
Get
Okay.
to Kana maybe.
Ah, yes, I think that is the right one to get.
Yeah, like that 5 credits I think makes a big difference here.
Yeah.
I won a lot of games in 2022 Worlds just because players were not used to making the right decision about those 5 credits.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. I think, unfortunately, we still have all of our 1 costers gone, but I'm probably eating the formicary here. Because,
Eat the
like,
Whoredom.
oh, yeah, yeah, that's better. You're right, you're right. There's no world in which we're ever rosing that Hordem.
Wait. Seamless?
Oh, yep, 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 yep. I'm so not used to having to. Yeah, no, this is just me being bad. Oh, nope, that's the wrong way. Okay. Seamless. Score. Eat the Whoredom. Malapert first. We'll get the Audacity probably. I think that's probably the best thing here. I could see an argument for Spin Doctor.
So getting Audacity. Oh, we're the hostile deck, aren't we?
We are the hostile deck, and we have Mavirus, so like we can actually beat Clot. Also, this is a very
Yeah.
awkward board for the runner to Clot. They don't have a sacrificial like any program they sacrifice is quite bad for them here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hitting a deep dive, which I should have done first, is very good.
I was, yeah, I was thinking it.
Yeah, yeah. Is it just envelopment on server one? I feel like that's pretty decent.
Um, he still has no money, so the above the law is plausible.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like envelopment server one install above the law, I feel like is a very solid line.
Oh, we have one click, so I guess it's like which one
Sorry.
first.
This is off the Tucana trigger.
Oh, I forgot we had that. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. The fermenter does give, in theory, some decent uh, chips again, but for the clot, but that's fine. At
I
some
confess I forgot like what Pantograph does.
there was yeah, I had a lot of thoughts about Pantograph when it was in playtesting, but okay. Yep, nothing fancy to do here.
Got a BC for R&D.
Yeah.
I guess the click taxing isn't super great. But I forgot to say this. We forced the Peaches out back onto the bottom of the stack.
Yeah. I like the BC almost more to go and fetch him a virus as well. Um,
Sure.
it's not like going to be hugely impactful. Um, I think I might be actually taking the spin doctor here. Um,
I was just thinking you could do that and conceivably even discard the. Well,
I'm not
yeah,
discounting the
don't discard
Oaktown
the
because they're
Oaktown.
on deep dive, and like we actually like if they don't
Mhm.
recover in credits, there's our turn is install. Oh no, we're credits short to install advance the Oaktown and get them a virus off. Um,
Don't discard the envelopment. Oh
I
well.
don't
Oh
think we're
yeah,
ever
yeah,
resing that
yeah.
envelopment before
Sorry,
we win the game.
sorry. I forgot about Turbine, which is the entire reason we're playing this matchup.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, oh, that's unfortunate.
It is.
It's pretty bad, honestly. Oh, he didn't trash them
Wait,
a virus.
yeah,
Oh, probably because he
that's
was
kind of
worried
strange.
about like a Trojan horse or something. Would be my guess.
Um,
Or, but
we don't have any money though.
we don't. Yeah, but I don't know that he wants to spend four, right? Um,
So we could just feed him the Oaktown.
yeah, I like that line honestly. Um, it's actually
Maybe
not.
installing the Spin Doctor was better.
Maybe, yeah. With the sure gamble, it starts to look a little bit suspect.
Oh, uh,
Oh, and then
my
clicking the
I
hush over just wins. Yeah.
just yeah, that's smart. Um, yeah, for yeah. What I said about the Spin Doctor was I was thinking I wanted like just more draws to find a 3/2,
Hmm.
but Simulchip is still on the board. So
Yeah.
double advancing the O10 is clicking for credits that we need to play the extract. So
Yeah. Do I want Thimble Rig here? Does it make a difference?
it doesn't do anything. Basically, it just replaces with a border control,
Yeah.
which
The thing is, it's gonna be hushed. Like the. Oh, you know what? I think it's actually the second border control.
on which server?
I was gonna say archives.
That's fine. Yeah, whatever. I was gonna say before you clicked that now we have to click for a credit to play the extract.
I think that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, the
Are we getting Rashida
with what? Oh, with the manic arm, yes. Or with the
yeah,
malapert,
the other
yeah.
thing?
Now, part of me is like, okay, I probably want to get them a virus on the board this turn. Um,
Yeah, but there's no server that it's protected in.
yeah, that's the problem. But it's like, oh, if I can't get them a virus down this turn,
Actually, you know what line we're playing to? Install hostile, install Mavirus Audacity it.
oh, you're right. That is the line we can play into. Is it just install the spin doctor then? I feel like that might be the line.
Um, if he doesn't challenge it, then we overdraw. Or if he does challenge it, then we overdraw, which is awkward.
No, because we still just
But
have them a virus audacity line.
yeah, if we're trying to find the hostile, then I think that that's fine. And there's an argument that we're like racing the clock of Lat's late game.
I think we are.
Also, he has 1 credit.
Yeah. So it's like if the Rashida fire, like we have so many good hits here, and if the Rashida goes, like we don't have to win on the spot, right? Where's our second former carry? Like,
It's
oh,
hushed.
it's Hush. Right. Okay. Yeah. So like, I'm definitely a little tempted to, if we don't draw a hostile here, to try and draw one anyway.
Um, so I think that's probably right. I think my question is,
If what happens when we miss?
right, like, say we miss, how are we going to win with this remote?
Um. So my argument would
We could
be,
actually,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
a different line is install advance, and it forces a program to be trashed, which means we trade for both simul chips.
Why is it force program to be Oh, I see what you mean. Yes. Okay.
Well, so first, you could still draw 2 cards with Spin Doctor.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Because if we can just win on the spot, we can just win on the spot. And we have like a 2 and 13. Okay, we didn't get there. Yeah, these cards are equivalent here. So
Mm-hmm.
install, advance.
I guess the Hush gets trashed, but
Yeah,
that's still good.
that's still great. Oh no, they trashed the turbine.
Huh.
That's very interesting. That makes me want to put the sandstone on
It
the
sure
server.
does.
Do I trash anything? I don't need to. I can actually just hard put the sandstone out there.
There's an argument to trash the Res Formicary, so we could draw it again. But
Oh, yeah, I think I like that. It's like 1 credit, but it lets us actually reset our game plan.
right, and Lat's cards in hand aren't gonna matter.
Yeah. Okay. I might keep the double Mavirus. The Thimble Rig is blank here. Uh,
One hedge fund.
one hedge fund can definitely go. Is it the Rashida? I guess there's no world where we're putting this Rashida on the board, right?
I think it's the Rashida.
Yeah. Yeah, because if there's a turn where we can keep a card on the board, we're winning. So, um, yeah,
Yeah, I guess the other hedge fund is conceivably,
yeah. I
but
think the
the
other,
Rashida,
yeah,
yeah, is more porous.
yeah.
I Yeah,
Oh, so
okay.
that's just the most efficient way to click for 4 credits. That's fair.
Yeah, but it trashes the clot, which
Yeah.
lets us just win next turn.
Oh, yeah, that's true. and I don't think it even gets them through the sandstone. Like the turbine trap, it like it's trick. This is the like the out against the lat matchup, right? Is that you get to put this pressure on.
Behind with the former carry combo and
Yeah,
then make him like
yeah. This match is
make bad
definitely
decisions with the simul chips.
uh, this match is definitely selling me on the former carry a bit.
It is like even just like having that hush installed is causing memory pressure, and that's mattering.
Yeah, it definitely. I think like when I was playing, when it was like Reg Hosh, all like up and down the line, like it felt like it was difficult to make it like stick. But with the like in this case against this lat, it's like yeah, it is clearly applying a lot of pressure. I don't know if this lat's on DCMZ or not. Um,
I think one of those would have helped a lot.
yeah. Oop. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like remember in the early game staring down those 22 credits and being like, "How are we going to deal with 22 credits?" Like, it does matter at the end of the game.
Yeah. It definitely
And
does.
we did get 5 credits for free on that one turn.
Yeah.
Um, but I think even with the runner 5 credits richer, yeah, I mean, no, that could definitely cause some problems. If the runner's 5 credits richer, then he doesn't
Yeah.
have to do that from interplay, for example, and still has
Yes.
a clone chip. But if he goes that line, like we can just purge the clot
Yeah.
because we're ahead enough on points. Or he does it and he locks the remote, but we still have the hostile line.
Yeah, I think our line ends up being like even like at that point we probably have Tomb of Viruses in hand. We just install one on the board, let him purge the clot, spending credits going into the remote, and
Yeah.
then just like go again. Um, so yeah, I mean, Daria, you'll when you watch the VOD back later, there was like one the paying for the Managarm to try and see the one face down when you wouldn't have the money to trash the Managarm. I think was a pretty like was probably the notable mistake. But I think like you played well. It's just like this deck was able to like keep you on like pressure, and so that you couldn't do the game plan you wanted to. Also, sniping the deep dive out of your hand was like sniping both the deep dive and then also getting the above the law trash on wheels. It was like important pieces of tempo for us. So
Are you sold on 3 SFA?
no,
Because
I
and snipe
think
the deep dive?
I no, I would have rather had an Atlas.
Okay.
Still, I like we had to there. I think there was times in 2 out of the 3 games we've played today where the Ozef trash was actively hampering our board state.
You're
Um,
right about that.
and
In my experience, it's not usually that awkward,
yeah,
but I see where you're coming from.
um, and so the other thing is in this game, the first Ozef we pushed we probably could have pushed it with a counter if it was an Atlas. And this game becomes, I think, a little bit easier with an Atlas counter. Like having an Atlas counter against Shaper is like equity in winning the late game. Um, that's often worth it if you
For
like.
hostile or for something else?
For I mean, I'll use it in a lot of ways. Against Shaper, Hostile is a little bit worse, right? Um, but it's
Well, it
not
gets hostile
dead.
Mavirus Audacity.
Yeah, in this because you have the Managarm ticking as well, right? You do have that Mavirus install hostile audacities just win the game, right? Um,
I think that there's a case that the counter is better in the hostile build when you're
yeah,
trying to find that hostile.
yeah,
Whereas the SDS, like you kind of just score what you draw.
yeah. No, I think that's true. I think in the hot like kind of the not it's not quite the floor. Like I end up spending the Atlas counter for an extract like a decent amount of the time. Um,
Sure, sure.
But at the same time, that's I'm probably doing that because the 6 credits are the highest equity thing to do. And it's probably not because I spent a click in the credit advancing that I need that 6 more so than other things. Maybe it is, right? Um, but yeah, it's
Well,
like,
yeah. I mean, Yeah, it's about the choice, and to
Yeah,
me, like I just have Malapert so often that the only choice that you truly get that you don't otherwise is getting hostile.
yeah, yeah. And so in the hostile builds, like getting hostile, like you can seal a lot of games with fetching the hostile. Now it might be that
Right.
I'm used to playing
Right.
against people that are like, if I'm playing against Crim or something, like, yeah, getting the Atlas counter, like, obviously, that's usually just like, okay, that's the game. Like, in many ways, the
Hmm.
Atlas counter is somewhere between, it's like, becomes a 4-3 or sometimes even a 4-4. But Crim is already one of your better,
Yeah.
like, probably already your best
Four
matchup.
four.
So it's like,
Psycho
meh,
extension.
like, do you need, like, is that worth the awkwardness where, like, the Ozef, yeah, doing damage does disrupt things. Now we're doing less rig shooting, right? Without the half run, just randomly sniping breakers out of hand loses some equity, um, as well. Um, so I don't know. It's like it's one of those things where I think it's always going to be a little bit personal flavor, and I don't think I have the data to really suggest that the way I would want to build or have been building is actually any stronger. It's just sort of my feeling of it has usually been, if I'm able to score an Oaktown, that means if I have a win to score a 4-2, Atlas is a great is basically as good as an Oaktown score there. Whereas if I have that same window with an Ozef, I have to have another agenda in my hand at that moment to take advantage of that window. Um,
To me, the Atlas 4-2 versus the Oaktown 4-2 are like so different on tempo.
mhm.
Like you're trading so much tempo to get that Atlas counter that helps you win the late game, yes, but like it's not they're not similar at all to me.
Mhm.
Whereas Azief and Atlas are more similar to me.
That's fair.
Um, I think that counter for hostile is quite compelling. I
Mhm.
don't think that any data about criminal matchups is really compelling because I think we're just beating criminal,
Yeah.
like kind of no matter what we do.
Yep.
Uh, it's really this matchup that I'm interested in, and Mulch,
Yeah.
um, and Issa, although people are kind of off Issa.
Yeah. I mean, Daria beat me up with Issa on my version of this list on our weeknight game. So like it is still a deck you have to think about. Um, I will say it does hurt when the first 8 sabotage hit 6 point and 2 spin doctors. That is going to make it
Yeah,
tough
I
to win
mean,
that game. Um, but
you just lose that one.
but
So how do we feel about Havern after tonight?
it doesn't feel that it. When everyone's playing Crim, I think Halfrun's just like okay, we can turn that win dial up even more. But with like the decks, especially on, it's like, oh yeah, today we were playing against like nine. We played against, well, actually something like all the simul chips, right? 3 simul chips plus simul
Right.
chip recursion.
We
Um,
deliberately picked the simul chip matchups.
Yeah, so this is the matchup where Halfrun is going to be doing the least. It doesn't do zero. I've actually like I have had matchups. I think I was telling you before the stream started, where like Halfrun, it still can sometimes do stuff against like Mulch, where you just force them to spend.
Actually, what it does here, like we were pressuring the simul chips at the end with the audacity threat,
Yeah,
so it adds pressure on that front. It just doesn't synergize with. Well, maybe it synergizes with Trojan Horse. It yeah,
yeah. I guess
maybe
then
it
you can
synergizes.
you can Trojan horse and like you just have to win by one, and suddenly you can take out the most valuable card on the field. Um,
Right. It's just that like if you're playing Trojan Horse, you don't have the deck slots to play the hostile build. So
yeah,
there's only so much you can do as far
well,
as that pressure goes.
yeah. It's the slots you'd have to get would be cutting the former carries, and then you're starting to look at something really weird. I think. Um,
Like also what influence are we losing in this build to make the half rune? I think
yeah,
it's the second skunk works.
yeah. It would be the second skunk works, and so then it's like now you have to like now you're like okay, now it's like okay, well I'm getting the second seamless and probably another influence to spend on something, probably the sprint or possibly the sprint, right? or you could go
Yeah, you
Thimblerig
want the
Magnet.
current.
Um, but Sprint,
I guess arguably Magnet and Third Mavirus could be the half rune from this build.
oh, well, then you're kind of, and then you get the Tucanos back. So you go two Tucana, two Mavirus.
Exactly. Yeah.
The thing to me is when there's so much Virus Anarch around, I would like to have like
Well,
like
right.
the Virus is already a card I want in my deck. Like every Corp deck I'm building has two, and so I was like, oh well, if I can play, if I'm not ever really sad to draw him a Virus, why am I cutting it for a card that like that is like very
Right.
situational in for the same matchup? Um,
I think that's a little bit of a question of philosophy because there's the argument that like a situational card can sometimes like save the game.
mhm.
But like in this hypothetical, like replacing it with a half rune to me is not compelling.
Yeah, yeah. It's yes. You there are theoretical cards that totally would be worth. It's like, oh yeah, we're dropping the one with virus, but it's giving us this really powerful one-to-one tech for a very important matchup. But in this case, it would be, oh, we're weakening one of our most common matchups to make one of our best matchups a little bit better. Um,
Right. I think
so
like if there's a comparison of what you cut for the half rune, like the only thing that's really up for debate is the Skunkworks.
mhm.
The second Skunkworks.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah.
Okay, well, we're at the 3 hour mark or a little bit past it.
Yeah.
So I think this is probably a good time to close it. I'm going to try and
Mhm.
get, I think there's probably still more things we could talk about in Rush Ob. So we'll have a little chat about that and figure out when the next time to have you back on because I've been really enjoying these. I'm
Mhm.
also going to try and get
Me
some of
too.
the other flavors of Op on so that we can do a whole panel. And they may not be in a live stream. They might be just pre-recorded stuff. We'll see as those people are the people that I want to chat to are in time zones that are a little bit less conducive to being online at my normal stream time. So we'll see. But
Mhm.
Ben, thanks so much for coming on. Chat, thanks so much for coming out and chatting. It's always great to have you guys asking questions. I think uh, it helps everyone, so I always appreciate it.
No, yeah. I
So
think I think we had some pretty high quality chat comments and some high quality games, especially the second one.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, thanks for having me on. Um, I've I've got a lot of compliments like on the stream, and I want to relay those to you. So thank you.
thanks. Well, and yeah, thanks so much for coming on. It's a real treat. So with that said, have a good night, everyone, and I'll see you next week.
Bye.